hold on.
Make yourself big.
I will. Sorry, hold on. I pressed go live too early.
I see.
I wanted to double check, make sure.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Damn, we really putting on a fucking show.
Yeah. We're professionals, guys. I promise.
Well, if there was a way to like pause it, I wish there was like a backstage option.
Travis, did you have your head tilted funny, or is your beard line a diagonal line?
What?
Like when you lifted your head up, your beard line looked. Oh no, you just had your head funny.
I have no idea what you're.
I was like, does this
implying,
man's
but-
beard line diagonal? If so, I'm gonna fucking flame him.
I mean, my cheek, like this part's diagonal. Like, oh shit. I forget
Well, that part's supposed to be diagonal.
That's why I was like, I don't know what you're. Are you talking about down here?
Yeah. I thought like
So
it
here's
was
the
like,
thing.
I saw it like this, and I was like,
Oh yeah. Here's the thing, John. Once your beard gets to be the length that mine is, you don't shape under here. You just let it grow.
I have no desire to have that length of beard, so I'm never gonna fucking find out.
The thing about this beard is, it's like getting fat. You don't got to do anything to it.
Once I grow past a 4 guard, I start getting really uncomfortable. So
Yeah, you like to keep yours real nice and close. I'm about to shave it, not shave it, but I'm gonna get it cut down. I think probably about as thick as Mike's is, maybe a little bit thicker.
how Keith on here telling us where to go live?
Bitch,
When
you don't
he's
even
not
work
here.
here. What do you say?
All right. All right. Hey yo, say goodbye to the Book It Boys. Is that it?
No, that's not it. Say hello to the.
Say hello to the Book It Boys.
Say goodbye to us. Bye. There's the show.
Say hey yo. Shut the fuck up. All right. Hey yo, say hello to the Book It Boys. Welcome to Book It, a wrestling podcast where we book and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Hi-Fi Mike, and today our GM is Damone, D Money Allen.
John, I hope your show's not like me, a disappointment.
Primetime Travie T.
John, I hope your show is like me. Hard.
Well, actually,
Fudge.
well,
who
actually,
has
my
a show.
show's actually my show's like me, sad.
And as you hear it this week, we are going to do BBW's second show, which
Also,
is going to
Kenny's
do a
not-
pay-per-view.
Kenny's not here because he's.
Oh,
a bitch.
Kenny's not here. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be here.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what
Who
fucking
knows?
time 9 p.m. is, even though we
So when
started
you
at the same
hear,
time every
like,
week.
the same 4 voices for an hour, and then you randomly hear one that sounds like he smokes 7 packs a day show up an hour in. Fuck him.
All right.
BBW.
Yeah.
BBW.
Write it down.
All right, so we'll go
He's about to
ahead
get
and
stripped of the fucking Book It Boy of the Year award, and he's gonna give it to Damone, who still hasn't missed a fucking day. The workhorse of T13.
Your
Right there.
workhorse.
He's
Right
the workhorse
fucking there.
champion. Well,
All right,
Travis,
so-
the PEMDAS champion.
if, you haven't,
The PEMDAS champion.
if you haven't listened to the Book It Verse yet, and this is your first episode, I highly recommend going back. I don't know if he's freezing or if I'm freezing. I'd recommend going back and listen at least to the beginning of this Book It Verse, or you can go back to other Book It Verses and start there, or you can start all the way at the beginning, but I don't think I recommend that so much.
I do. Listen to every single episode.
Tonight.
Forward,
It's a wild
forward,
ride, man, especially at the
forward
beginning.
and backward.
The
Watch
first 10 episodes are rough. If you can make it past that, you can make it past anything.
Like The Office.
All right. So, John, go ahead.
All right. So, hopefully, if you're going back, you skipped my last show. It didn't go so great, but it was a New Year's Eve special on our weekly show, Malice on Monday. Well,
Excuses.
This show is going to be a pay-per-view called St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Yes, you recognize that from the late 90s. I drafted that name. It is live from...
It's also a historical event.
Is this how you teach?
No. I'm in class. I'm fucking yelling when I'm teaching.
This
I'm
is
like,
North
"Hey!"
Dakota. It is the North.
No,
of
I'm
the
in there like,
Dakotas?
hey, this is what a representative democracy is. Like, I'm fucking like a drill sergeant in there. I
I
gotta
don't
be.
believe that for 1 fucking minute.
I'm like the size of a 6th grader. I have to be loud as shit for the listeners.
He's in the same weight class as his students.
Oh,
He sizes them up at all
the
times.
8th grade class I teach, half of them are bigger than me. There's something in that fucking water, man. That wasn't in ours. Anyways, the show's called St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It's live from New Orleans, Louisiana. The theme song is Funeral Derangements by Ice Nine Kills. Go check that out on any streaming platform. Real nice and heavy.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Just a recommendation. Just a recommendation.
Wrong show for that.
Anyways, we have the stage backdrop is created with like lots of like dead wilted type trees and fog is kind of the look of the arena for tonight. It's like a very like spooky type aesthetic as you would predict. So let's just go straight into our first bill. So the week after the New Year's Eve special where we left off, so this is 1 week later, after the Persian Lions interrupted Mustafa Ali's interview on the New Year's special, the scheduled match between Mustafa Ali and Arya Davari takes place. Ali decisively defeats Arya Davari, and immediately after, Shaun Davari attacks him from behind while the Iron Sheik kneels down and starts screaming that Ali makes him sick. He continues, "You want to cry about our culture? Here's something to cry about. Tell the internet about this." As he has the Davaris holding him up, Sheik throws strikes to the stomach, ending with a big running knee. They stomp him down as Sheik yells, "You think you're better than us and those who came before you? We represent warriors, royalty, conquerors. It's you who needs the change, not us. How dare you say that our way is wrong when we've done nothing? When you've done nothing." And then he says, "We are gods compared to you," and spits on his face, and then puts him in the camel clutch in the ring. So he's basically like the hard cams, like close up, you can catch what they're saying without mics. Like he's like fucking yelling that in his face as they like beat him down. All right, so the next week, Mustafa Ali faces Shaun Davari, and Mustafa Ali is at a disadvantage with taped ribs.
Hey, that's gimmick infringement, brother.
You have the Billy Kidman taped ribs. He's at a disadvantage with taped ribs and getting
And jean shorts on.
He got the fucking jorts. Getting beat down for the majority of the match. Despite this, he's much more aware, and despite attempts at distractions outside the ring, Ali is able to maintain focus and beat Shaun Davari. Ali sees Sheik and Arya move towards the ring. As Shaun is getting up on all fours, Ali jumps off his back and does a front flip to the outside onto the other two. So basically, like Shaun Davari is getting up after the match, and he sees that Arya Davari and Sheik are coming towards the ring, so he does like jumps off his back, poetry in motion style, does a front flip to the outside. They try to regroup and gang up on Ali, but Ali is ready, grabbing a chair from by the announce table and running them off. The next week, Stephen A. Smith has the Persian Lions backstage for an interview. Iron Sheik takes the mic from Stephen A. Smith and says, "Mustafa Ali, you may have weaseled your way through 2 matches, but that doesn't change the fact that you are an embarrassment to your wife, an embarrassment to your kids, an embarrassment to 2 different countries, and an embarrassment to this sport. You cry on the internet, you whine on our culture, and the real men are sick of hearing it. There's nothing we do in this ring, in this locker room, and in this industry that needs to be changed. What needs to be changed is you. The sensitivity, the God complex, the ego, they lead you to me, who is going to beat every bit of it out of you." And then Mustafa Ali approaches, holding the dented chair from the previous week, saying, "I'm right here. Do it." Solve this problem you have with me tonight, face to face. You could square up here, or in the ring, or at the Waffle House down the street. See, the truth is, Sheik, you hate me because I expose guys like you for what you are. Insecure and fake. Everything you say and do is a gimmick. None of this is the real you. You can flex for the cameras, you can talk your trash, and you can preach about tradition, but we all see through it. The real you, Sheik, is dreading a match with me, knowing you'll lose. The real you knows your time is up. And then Sheik says to him, laughing, "You haven't earned the right to share a ring with me, pissant. You want a match with me? Beat both these guys in a handicap match tonight." And then they walk away. So the handicap match happened, and Mustafa Ali is able to keep up with both Davaris. He goes up for the 054, but on Arya, Shaun distracts the ref, and Sheik pushes him off the turnbuckle to the outside, crashing into the barricade. Mustafa Ali barely makes it back into the ring for the 10 count, and he's able to make a comeback, and in the process drop kicks Iron Sheik off the apron into hitting his head on the announce table. Ali hits a flying double DDT. He stacks them on top of each other, both Devart brothers, hits an 054 on them both, pins Shaun for the win. He has now earned a singles match with the Iron Sheik. Following week, Mustafa Ali makes his entrance and gets a mic, saying, "For the last month, the Persian Lions have attacked me, physically and verbally. They've said I'm a disgrace to their traditions. They've called me every name they could think of. They've even brought my family into it. This is the extent that they fear change. They know they can't keep up, and they know that they're going to get left behind. You saw that when I beat the Davaris one-on-one and at the same time. And now, I get to do the same to the Iron Sheik. Truthfully, I can't wait for this match any longer. It's men like the Iron Sheik that hold us back. It's men like the Iron Sheik that get me side-eyed in public because they might think that I'm anything like him. He embodies a harmful stereotype that I have to deal with every day. I have to work 3 times as hard because of guys like you. Iron Sheik, you disgust me. Get your ass out here so I could show these fans who the better man is." The crowd gives a big cheer for Ali. And Sheik shows up on the Ballertron laughing. He says, I said you'd get a match, but not tonight. Ali, you don't know what it's like to be an attraction, but I only wrestle for the bright lights and the big money. So maybe I'll check my calendar and see if I'm free at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. But you might have to wait till WrestlePalooza. And as he's saying this, the Davaris brothers slide in the ring. Sorry, I lost my place. They slide in the ring from behind and beat Mustafa Ali down, throwing him into the ring post, hitting their finishers, which Arya Davari's finisher is like a ripcord lariat, and Shaun Devari's is like a underhook DDT. But they hit their finishers, and then they tie Ali's arms into the ropes. They punch him in the stomach until over and over and over until blood comes out of his mouth. Sheik laughs on the screen as this happens, and then General Manager LeVar Ball runs out with security and a microphone, and he says, "Listen good, Sheik. Open calendar or not, you will face Mustafa Ali on Sunday. You show up, or your ass is fired. Now clear my damn ring." All right. And then now we're to the pay-per-view. A little bit of commentary before the match.
Sorry, can you repeat the last part again?
Yes. So basically, Ali's arms are tied up in the rope, and then the Davari brothers are punching the shit out of his stomach until blood comes out of his mouth. And then LeVar Ball comes out with security and says, "Iron Sheik, you're going to face Mustafa Ali on Sunday. You show up or your ass is fired. Now clear the ring."
Okay, thank you.
So before the match, Skip notes the style difference and says that it benefits Iron Sheik. Sheik will slow the match down and beat you down. No frills in his style. While Shannon says he can't beat a guy he can't catch and that Ali's going to run circles around him. So now, this is just for you, Kenny. I'm glad you made it. We got the attires. Mustafa Ali has purple and black lights on, like on the mask, the vest, and the glove, wearing purple and black tights. And then Iron Sheik comes out in black trunks with a white camel and a black and white turban and a gold shawl on his shoulders. And the Devaris are wearing all black suits with gold chains. All right. So now we're to the match, the spots. I'm not doing bell to bell, just spots. Ali walks up confidently and challenges Sheik to a test of strength. Sheik acts like he's going to do it, but throws a nasty elbow to the head instead. Sheik whips him off the ropes and hits a rolling power slam, kind of like the Randy Orton style one. He chokes Ali on the ground, calling him pathetic before hitting a knee drop off the ropes. As Ali gets up, Sheik runs off the ropes and kicks him in the throat with the pointed toe of his boot. Because remember, Iron Sheik got them pointy toe boots. Sheik hoists Ali up and does a border toss into the turnbuckle before flexing into the crowd. Well, flexing for the crowd, excuse me. Mustafa Ali does a reverse crossbody into a tornado DDT, but gets caught and hit with a gut wrench suplex. Sheik goes for a pin with a foot on the chest, 1.5 count. Sheik slaps Ali as he gets up, and then Ali returns with a punch to the mouth, following it with a flurry as the crowd cheers him to his feet. As they're both getting up, Shaun Devart jumps up to the apron. Ali runs him off. Arya does so on the adjacent side. Ali goes to run him off, but then Sheik chop blocks him and starts to stomp on him. The ref gets Sheik off him and sends the Devaris to the back. Sheik goes for a big haymaker, but Ali ducks and super kicks his lights out. Falls onto him for a pin, 2 count. Ali goes to the apron, rolls to the ropes, and hits an X Factor style facebuster. Follows that with a pin attempt. Follows that with a lion salt and then a pin attempt for a 2. Ali waits for Sheik to get up and goes for a reverse Rana from behind, but Sheik holds the legs and hits a reverse Alabama slam into the turnbuckle. Sheik goes to the other side of the ring for a corner shoulder tackle, but Ali moves. Sheik hits the post hard and falls to the outside. Ali runs on the goes to the outside of the ring, runs along the barricade, and front flips onto Sheik. He tosses Sheik into the ring, but Sheik gets up as he climbs into the apron. Ali kicks him in the head, kind of like that rope enziguri where you throw your leg up and kick him in the head, and then hits a head scissors DDT onto the apron. He pulls Sheik into the corner, climbs the rope, and then hits the 054 to get the 1, 2, 3, and Mustafa Ali wins the match.
Okay. I'll go first. I didn't have anything issues or anything with it. The match was good. And the build I like. I like the fact that you did the implications of Ali pretty much saying you're the racial angle kinda, but it's very subtle. So I like it. I'm gonna give you a 5.
Let's go! That's how we start off, baby!
Mike?
I didn't have any problems with it, but I wasn't excited about it. I'm gonna give you a 4.
I'll take that.
All right, so I'm not gonna shred you here, so don't get too worried. But I'm gonna look like the hater compared to these two.
That means you're getting a 2. I'm not gonna shred you, but here's your 2.
I'll take a light Travis roast. I'll take it.
So a couple of things.
Right.
One, I don't like that. You and Damone are the two that I think could use Iron Sheik the best. and I don't think you did here. I
Okay.
think you kind of went a little bit too. I don't know. Iron Sheik is to me is the fucking maniac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck the Hulk Hogan and go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
guy
you're
on
thinking like
Twitter.
Twitter Iron Sheik.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what I wanted from your brand, especially.
I see that.
So I'm not like dinging you for this. It's just comments.
No, yeah, I get it.
What's up, Damone?
It's funny that you say that me and him could use Sheik the best because I traded him Sheik.
Yeah. And yeah, that's like I just didn't see. I would see this fitting on anybody else's show. It just doesn't feel right on yours.
Yeah,
And I don't know if that's just because of how you built your rapport with us.
It's
or
like
not.
reputation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it this way just because he's a little bit older. He's not like old Iron Sheik, but he's like later into his career, so he's like
Yeah.
the draw at this point. You know what I mean? So he's like using
Yeah.
his name power to his advantage.
And I get that, and I kind of like I like the gimmick of them together. It was just a little bit deflating not to get the fucking maniac Iron Sheik. I don't particularly think that Iron Sheik and Mustafa Ali's chemistry would go good. Your spots were okay. But I don't think that they're going to be mesh as well as we think they're going to.
I had him work in a powerhouse style instead of like a slow methodical style, so I had him throwing him the fuck around to kind of make up for that.
Yeah, and that's why I think you made it work. I think there's another thing I was going to say. Oh, I was very uninterested in this. Like throughout the build, it was almost coming off as like boring, to be honest. But I think that's due to delivery issues, not necessarily product.
Yeah, I ain't done this in a while. It felt weird to start cutting promos. I was like,
talking. You're not really like getting in character. You're not like keeping me engaged.
I got you.
I'm going to give you a 3.75.
I'll take that.
I feel like you had a good little thing here, but there's a few things that I would have changed.
Yeah,
I also feel like it was predictable. Like we knew Mustafa Ali was going to win as soon as this like the first sentence came out of your mouth. I knew Mustafa Ali was winning this match.
That's fair. Yeah, but delivery issues are real though. I like am getting back into the groove of doing this, so
yeah,
I just feel weird, kind of like yelling at my computer. So, all right, let's go on to our next match. So I'm gonna give the build before the matchup.
Oh, for everybody listening, Kenny's here.
Hey,
He just finished his 7-pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
wow.
When you listen to the beginning of this episode,
I told him we did shoot promos. I called him bitch.
Yeah, we went Samoa Joe. That's poor taste. Never mind. Ooh, that's real poor taste.
You get started. I'll be right back.
All right.
Wait, why is it poor taste to say when Samoa Joe?
Oh, because Samoa Joe's like shoot promo that I was referring to was one that was actually on Scott Hall. I was like, wait, no. Anyways, on an episode of Malice, ODB is in the catering area.
Should we hit an ad since Mike just ran away?
Sex.
Speaking of sex?
Yeah, speaking of sex.
Speaking of ODB, if you like it dirty.
Your body and the bodies you're loving deserve nothing but the best. Organic Lovin' is the only adult subscription box that includes eco-friendly body products, from body-safe adult toys to sex-positive books and erotic seminars. Organic Lovin's online store has everything you and your partner or partners could ever need to heat things up. And right now, your friends at T13 Media want to take 10% off of your next order. Just go to organiclovin.com and use promo code T1, THREE, like the sound the bed makes, when you check out. Organic Lovin'. Love organically, purely, deeply, boldly.
Yawn. I'm tired. I think I need a Raise energy drink.
Speaking of Raise energy drinks.
Speaking of Raise energy drinks.
Are you tired? Tired of those other energy drinks hitting you with a short burst of jittery energy, followed by a crash that leaves you with less energy than you had before? Well, fear not, because Raise energy drinks are specifically formulated to get you going without making you jittery and keeps you from crashing. With 0 sugars, 0 calories, and better caffeine than a cup of coffee, Raise energy drinks are the #1 growing energy drink on the market. With flavors like Baja Lime, Sour Gummy Worm, Guava Mango, and Strawberry Colada, Raise has some of the best tasting energy drinks available. You can get a case of Rays right now by going to repsports.com and using promo code T1THREE when you check out to take 15% off of your next order. That's promo code T1THREE for 15% off of your next order of better, tastier energy.
Thank you, Rep Sports. That was amazing. I'm going to go get that now.
So convincing.
Yeah, you sound like my promos.
He does sound like your promos.
Hey,
Actually, I'll be honest with you, he had a little bit more charisma than you did in your
Yeah.
promos.
Listen, I ain't done this in a cool minute. I felt kind of weird going into it. I was
He-
like, oh,
he
damn,
said-
I'm doing this now. Like,
he
you know,
was reading his Iron Sheik. He said, Mustafa Ali. I'll
To be
never
fair,
forgive you
last
for
time
this.
I, like-
You're a disappointment to your family. You're a
if I did his
disappointment to
voice,
me.
Travis, you know what you'd be
Ravioli,
saying.
ravioli, give me the formuoli.
Travis, you know what you'd be saying if I did his voice. I was being careful.
You can do something. You can fucking.
I was scared of trying to do that voice.
You sounded like Plankton's wife. Is that what you're saying?
Did you? Hold on. Did you? At any point, Kenny, did you wrid down the scores? Because I did not.
I did.
I remember them.
Okay,
Oh.
good. Did you?
Damn, Travis, you have one
Did
fucking
you-
job.
Shut up. Did you at any point have Iron Sheik spit on Mustafa Ali?
He did.
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Because if you
All right.
didn't, you were losing the penny.
No,
Penny.
he spit on him. Anyways, on an episode of Malice, the one following the New Year's Eve special, this is where most of mine is going to start. It's going to be a 4-week build following that New Year's Eve special, so they're mostly all going to start there. ODB is eating some Arby's in the catering area. I'm talking some fucking sloppy ass beef and cheddar ass, you know, like
Nah, he's eating a beef and cheddar meal. You're losing
Like-
a point for that. Out of all the things he could be eating at Arby's, it's
You
not
mean
beef and
she?
cheddar.
yeah.
Oh.
ODB the wrestler, not ODB the rapper.
I didn't know there was a wrestler.
Man, you didn't watch TNA back in the good old days. Anyways,
What's her name? One dirty bitch.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I thought
Is
it
it
was
old?
No, it's
I
one.
thought it was one dirty bitch.
It is.
Yeah.
She's just going primal on this sandwich. Anyways, Lacey Evans comes up and says, "That is so nasty. A classy woman would never eat such filth." And then
Hold on. Question:
yes,
Does she have curly fries or crinkle fries?
curly fries. You know
All
that.
right, that's the only right answer.
Jamocha shake too. Whole fucking meal.
Who goes to Arby's and
changed
gets,
everything.
gets
If you get regular
They-
fries at
They
Arby's,
have them.
jail.
Somebody must be buying them.
No, they do
should
it
be
as a
in prison.
formality. That's the only reason they have them.
No, the crinkle cut fries be busting. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, it's,
Yeah,
it's
now we
Arby's.
know which motherfucker
They
gets
do-
them.
they do
Curly.
busting.
I'll never know if they're busting because I'm getting curly.
Yeah, I'm going to Arby's. I'm getting
I got
curly
them
fries.
when I went there. They gave me one for. They gave me like what is that? The snack size. I worked there and I can't fucking remember. But the smallest version, they give them to you for free when they have like promos. And I got them one time.
It's because they couldn't get rid of them.
I get-
no one wants that.
I get one of these.
Those are probably like 3-day-old fries. Anyways, ODB responds with their mouth full, saying, "You know what else is nasty?
Ugh.
Losing to Lita in 5 minutes at New Year's Revolution." And then Lacey smacks the sandwich out of her hand, and ODB yells at her, "That was $8, bitch!" and then starts whooping her ass against the wall. The locker room breaks it up until ODB throws a whole Jamocha shake at Lacey Evans, getting her fucking covered in that shit. On the next episode, they show a replay of this in the locker room as Lacey Evans is in the back with Stephen A. Smith for an interview. And he says, "I am here with the always classy, never nasty, sassy
ODB.
Southern Belle." Sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. Now, Lacey, I gotta ask, why did you feel the need to approach ODB last week? Is there something I'm missing? And Lacey answers, "Truth be told, Stephen, I'm not sitting as pretty in this women's division as I once was. Word around here was saying that I had gone soft."
I hate Lacey Evans' voice.
I know, I'm trying to like replicate it.
She
She's
sounds
got
like she
that-
owns slaves.
She do sound like she owns slaves.
Why?
I do declare.
Yeah, but I'm giving him. He's keeping me captivated.
What's
so.
the cartoon character? The fucking giant chicken, Foghorn? No, not
Fog,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn.
We did not disparage the good name of Foghorn.
Foghorn
He
Leghorn's
was-
the best fucking Looney Tune.
He was racist too. But keep
He's not
going.
racist.
Yeah, he's fucking racist.
He's not racist.
Yeah,
He's just a good Southern boy.
I don't even have a place to say it. He's racist.
yeah, so racist.
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
racist.
John's a good Southern boy.
He's
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
Gilmore Boys.
I know that my path back to the women's championship is knocking out nasties with this women's right. Who nastier than ODB to make an example of? And Stephen A. Smith retorts, so let me get this straight. You start losing matches, and your response is to target some random women in the locker room? This didn't seem to work out too well for you last week. What's next? And Lacey says, what's next is ODB and I in that ring. Watch me handle this in under 5 minutes. The match takes place as
Did
it
you put up four
You've been
fingers?
playing way too much 2K.
Oh, you think
You
about
just
that
beat
fucking...
Finn Balor, didn't you?
No, this was based on that. I wrote this before that. The
Because
Finn
let
Balor
me tell you,
video.
I had the same idea.
No, this is like my story is not based on this. That was just a footnote. Because remember,
Yeah.
Lacey Evans got whooped by Lita at New Year's
You could
Revolution.
have
in 5
been
minutes.
like, but you could have made it like 7 minutes or
I am
8 or
Well,
7
5 minute
minutes is
increments is
random.
pretty
5
common.
and a half.
Yeah.
Well, you
7
wanna
minutes
say-
is very random.
If you want to say like you did something in a short amount of time, 5 minutes
Just-
is your go-to.
Just do it, just so you're not.
The short amount of time challenge.
So you played 2K, haven't you?
Yes,
That's
it's consumed my entire life, Mike. What's your fucking point?
I can't blame you for that.
So, where was I?
5
The
minutes.
match takes place, and as it gets to the 4-minute mark, Lacey starts getting desperate. She tries to get a pin with the foot on the ropes, but ODB kicks out. She then removes a turnbuckle, but she takes too long as ODB gets up and hits the Dirty Dozen, which is where she smashes her head into the turnbuckle 12 times. She hits the Dirty Dozen onto the exposed turnbuckle, and then monkey flipping her to the middle of the ring and getting the win. The following week,
Wait. She went with a monkey flip?
I hate that.
she had just exposed turnbuckle 12 times in the head beforehand, because that's the Dirty Dozen. Is she does the 12 smashes and then the monkey flip.
Yeah.
Exposed
pinned her?
turnbuckle 12 times.
And then she pinned her.
Yes. Exposed turnbuckle 12 times.
I gotta be honest with you. You're losing a penny off that.
I'll take it for a penny, but if I lost $1 for that, I'd be shooting because it's an exposed 12 buckle. 12 buckle. Fuck.
12 buckle.
Exposed turnbuckle 12 times. Motherfuckers be like in SmackDown versus Raw going to red after 1. Anyways, the week after, ODB approaches
I'm cool with the monkey flip. You're not. How much did he take off for
a
it?
penny.
I'm gonna add 2 pennies.
No,
Okay,
he's gonna.
I'll take off a nickel.
No, don't auction this.
All right,
No,
well, I'm
don't do
gonna
it.
add.
Mike, no, stop.
Yeah.
Just let him take the
I'm
penny.
I'm gonna add 10 points.
You're gonna make it a fucking dollar.
I'll take
Stop.
off a quarter.
God damn it.
Oh,
Mike.
I'm adding 50.
I'll take off 550.
I'm just gonna give you a 5 now.
God damn.
All because of a damn turnbuckle spot.
Yeah.
That was
It
a
was
monkey flip spot.
Or
Pissed me
turnbuckle-
off.
It was
turnbuckles
no,
and
it was
monkey flips.
12 times to expose turnbuckle before the monkey flip. Anyway,
Hey, Kenny, before you go,
I don't
John,
know what's wrong.
How,
with
how
the
do you like
monkey
that couch?
So what?
How do you like the couch?
We love it. We love it.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah.
That's just another satisfied customer. If you two want to be a satisfied customer,
You
come
are
down.
not sponsoring it.
buy furniture from Travis. Go to his social
Yeah.
media, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Do you deliver to
week-
Canton?
Yeah, actually, I think we do.
you delivered to
Oh,
Oklahoma
God,
City?
I think we can. Yeah, I think we can ship stuff now.
Oh hell yeah.
It just costs more.
Fair enough. I was expecting a no. I was gonna say, well, BBW came to Oklahoma City.
Now you got to get a couch now. You fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, now I gotta fucking buy something.
Get one pillow.
And say Travis sold me this shit.
Get that commission.
Anyways, the week after, ODB approaches Lacey in the back and says, "Got anything to say to me now?" And Lacey says, "Yes, actually, I do." you may have gotten lucky last week, but you're still inferior to me. Quite frankly,
Wait. Do you remember
hey.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2006? And the song was
Yeah.
like, by the way, boys, welcome to the
You know what
square.
it reminds
That's
me
what it
of?
sounds like.
It's Lacey Evans. Do you remember last week? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
See, I'm thinking member berries.
You also low-key sound like you want to ask them if they have a popsicle or if they want a popsicle.
oh my God, you're
You
making.
want a popsicle?
Hey,
That's what he sounds like. He
first
sounds
match.
like what?
First match. I said I had delivery issues. Now I'm trying to deliver, and you criticizing the rapping. Make up your
go
fucking
for
mind.
it, man. I'm here for it.
Make up your
You
fucking
understand
mind.
what you do.
I'm here for
I
it.
know.
Hey, I'm not falling
here
asleep
for
during
it.
this build, so
I'm here for it.
All right. Quite frankly, you're not as good as me at anything. Next week, I'll prove that in our rematch. And she walks away. The following week, they have their rematch on the Malice before St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and that ends with Lacey getting brass knuckles from her tights and hitting ODB with the women's right with the brass knuckles. She gets the pin and quickly leaves the ring. When she gets to the ramp, ODB is using the corner to get up as she says into a mic she got handed. Brass knucks, huh? Classic. Listen, if you want to bring the streets to the ring, all you got to do is let a bitch know. So how about this? Me and you, Sunday, street fight? BYOB.
What?
Can you handle that, princess? Lacey nods as she
Was
goes
there a
to the curtain.
question? Was she asked
Right.
fight.
Was she challenging her or was she asking her?
Both.
that?
You got to get the consent.
You know what? You just got your penny back.
That's a rod. That was. Is it like a teleprompter and it was changed?
No,
Are you stealing
I
my-
was trying
my
to
gimmick?
I was trying to give it like a talking to yourself kind of sound, I guess. Anyways,
What's the B in BYOB?
Like a
Second one.
rhetorical.
it-
Bring
it-
your own bitch.
Yeah, bring your own brass nuts.
Yeah.
I like bring your own bitch better.
Yeah.
I hate both, to be honest with you.
Anyways, the attires, Kenny's favorite part.
It should be bring your own bilingual championship.
Bilingual championship, long division championship.
Long division of Western Hemisphere. I feel like I'm in class.
You're getting schooled, motherfucker.
For real.
ODB comes out in some ripped jeans, a yellow bandana, and a rhinestone tank top that says ODB on it, looking like a rock of love girl as she always has. Standard with a
Like them titties.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy too.
she has a black backpack on as well. Lacey
Why
Evans.
she got a backpack?
Backpack.
You'll see.
Backpack. Everybody, let's go.
You'll see. All right, and Lacey Evans comes out in a red polka dot 50 style dress and a large purse. So to
I
start
already
the
know
match.
Rockstar Spud about to jump out that backpack and say, "After that, baby."
Hornswoggle needs to jump out that backpack. Hornswoggle, jump out the backpack. I'm giving you $5.
Lacey Evans bought El
that
Torito.
That backpack needs to be full of Arby's classic.
Fucking beef and cheddar melts.
Nothing but curly fries.
With
No, if it's
with
Lacey
no
Evans, she getting them crinkle cut. She's the only person getting that shit with Travis.
with no rappers in it. With no rappers on the beef and cheddars. Just let it. I want.
Oh my God.
Make a sandwich in there.
They've been sitting out in the sun for 2 days.
Yes.
Man,
I'll tell you right now, that's disgusting.
that's beef and mold.
No, it won't mold. Not
It won't. Oh
not
yeah,
today.
it's just not
It's not
food.
molding.
No, Arby's is real meat, is real food, but mold doesn't develop that fast.
It'll
That's
just
fair.
be
Yeah,
That's
I was
fair.
gonna say she's gonna.
Okay,
smell this
Mr. Health Inspector.
stuff. I mean, I'm state certified. I'm state
you
trained
go.
in as a proctor. So
It's Ohio. I don't give a fuck. Anyways,
you're in Oklahoma.
yeah, you're somehow
You're
worse.
inbred, literally.
I'm not from Oklahoma. Fuck you.
Sweet home Oklahoma.
Jesus Christ. Damn, the South will rise again.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was a joke.
That's a bunch right there.
Clip it.
Timon won't clip it. That's
a
staying
Blanton
in.
shit.
Yeah, I'm definitely not clipping that out. That's staying.
Anyways, start the match. ODB takes a swig from her flask and spits it in Lacey's face, and then follows it with a running STO. She pulls a chain out from the backpack and she like wraps it around her head, and throws her with it. Lacey crawls to the edge of the ring and reaches into her purse that's sitting on the outside. She pulls out some pepper spray and sprays ODB in the face with it. She then tosses ODB outside the ring, and the brawl goes around the ring. And then ODB hits their Dirty Dozen onto the barricade. So that's 12 times to the barricade. And then later on, Lacey Evans, well, actually not long afterwards, Lacey Evans super kicks ODB over the barricade into the crowd. Lacey hits a double jump moonsault off the barricade. As they get towards the ring later in the match, Lacey gets out a chair and cracks ODB in the head. And then they get set into the ring, and she sets up the chair for a triple jump moonsault, as you know how Sabu does it. But as she gets to the top rope on the third jump, ODB got up and shoves her off of the rope to the outside of the ring, and she goes flying and hits her head onto the announce table. So basically, Lacey Evans jumps on the chair, jumps up to the top rope, and then ODB shoves her off, and she goes to the outside. ODB reaches into her backpack and pulls out some tacks, dumping them onto the ring. And as she starts to leave the ring to get Evans, she gets hit with a brass knuckle women's right. Lacey goes in the ring for the pin, but ODB gets the foot on the bottom rope. Lacey starts arguing with the ref for a solid minute, long enough for ODB to tap her on the shoulder, lift her up, and hit a fall-away slam into the tacks. And then she'll follow that up with a pin for the 1, 2, 3.
That wasn't bell to bell, was it? Was it just
No,
spots?
that was just spots. I never do bell to bell.
All right. What was the match type again?
Street fight.
So, was it in the street?
No, it was not in the street. But they were wearing street clothes as required. One was in jeans.
Street clothes are required for a street fight.
Run me that finish one more.
The finish. So I'll do the spot before because it leads to it. ODB reaches in the backpack, pulls out the tacks, dumps them on the floor. Lacey Evans is outside the ring at this point. She goes to lean out of the ring to pull Lacey in, and Lacey hits the brass knuckle women's right. Lacey goes for a pin. ODB gets the foot on the ropes. Lacey thinks she got 3, and she argues with the ref for a solid minute. ODB is able to get up, turn her around, and hit a fall-away slam into the tacks, and then pin her.
So ODB won?
Yes.
Okay. The foot on the ropes. Does that work in a street fight?
Yeah, there's still rope breaks.
Why?
Yeah,
There's
I don't
It's
know.
basically hardcore
no
rules,
DQ.
isn't it?
There's no DQ.
It's
They
not a
still-
submission. It's a
No, a rope break. A rope break only counts because if you don't break the pin or
Listen,
break the.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I didn't write these rules, but most hardcore matches do allow for rope breaks to break pins. You don't have to like it, but it is how it works. Most matches that it happens.
Oh.
I
will say
operate
that
on that basis.
I know the ECW rules were like that, like where it was pretty much you could use weapons and stuff, but the thing was there were rope breaks. So I do agree with that. I don't know about street fights. I do know the ECW
looking it
rules
up.
were like that.
I don't know of any hardcore match type where rope breaks don't break pins. Besides, like maybe like.
I know
no holds barred.
triple threats they don't, and those are usually hardcore. Are those usually hardcore rules?
Rope breaks definitely.
There's usually
break
no
stuff in
DQ
triple
in
threats.
triple threats.
Rope breaks definitely still count in triple threats.
So there's no rope breaks or countouts in a street fight.
I've definitely seen some street fights with rope breaks.
I mean, you can make
Can
the
you name
rules. You can make the rules
But,
whatever you want.
I mean,
I'm just kind of fucking with you about it.
Technically, it is your company. You
Right,
can
you
say
can do
whatever
whatever the fuck you want.
Well, my company does that. There you go.
I'm just
I hate it.
fucking.
Because my
It's a dumb
so,
rule, and
so
you're
let
getting
me
taxed
let me
for it.
explain. The last street fight I did see, like watch all the way through on TV, was in 205 Live.
It's
WWE,
really one of those things
and they
that,
did it in that match. So
I mean, I think a street fight should be in the street. So
that's fair. It should be like a Gulf of Mexico match.
like a
Best
backstage
match
brawl,
ever.
like
I
a
hate
parking
that.
lot brawl.
I hate all these like fucking dumb rules you guys are adding to all the matches. It makes us not be able to use fucking matches unless we're gonna follow your guys' bullshit rules.
Hey,
And you
y'all
guys
the
don't
ones
even-
getting on to
y'all
me
don't
about rope
follow-
breaks.
No, but y'all
Yeah,
don't
you're the
follow
ones
the
who brought
actual
it
rules.
up.
No. I'm talking about the street clothes and the fucking in the street stuff, which is stuff that you guys made up.
That's way more fun
No,
than the
Mike,
fucking rope
Well,
break.
listen,
Mike made up the in the streets part. I agree about the street clothes though. It's a street
Well, I'm just
fight.
thinking.
Street clothes.
Well, it's a street fight, so it should be in the street. I don't know.
Both of those things are dumb, and y'all don't even follow.
But you're mad about a
real
rope
rules.
break.
No, I'm saying because that's the actual fucking thing.
I brought up the rope break.
I didn't know. I'm not.
Okay.
All right.
Two things can be the same without relating to the other.
Okay. Okay. I
Like-
get you. I get you.
All right.
Okay.
Who
Anyway,
wants to go first?
wrong person won.
Really?
I agree. I 1,000% agree.
You're booking only like it's just weird that two baby faces have won in a row, and it's like these are both feuds that I feel like should have gone longer, but won't now.
Right.
Did you let the baby faces win clean?
Lacey Evans should have won that.
And
I didn't consider that, but I see your point.
I just feel like that's obviously I'm not going to grade you on this statement, but I feel like that's a precursor for your show to go forward and your company is that this is going to be short feuds and nothing's going to be like drawn out and be able to be built into actually needing these things. Because I feel like you kind of rushed that you made the street fight work here, but I think it could have been better if this would have been next month.
Yeah, this
after.
wasn't supposed to be a long-term feud because I don't want to get into too much, but basically I am building a contender pool, I guess. And we have a heel champion right now in the women's division. So I'm building up like baby faces in short-term
I'm just not
feuds.
huge on gimmick matches for the sake of gimmick matches.
Was that for a title or no?
No, that was not for a title.
Oh, it's not for a title?
No,
They're
neither
just
than a
fighting.
champion.
Over
Yeah.
beef and
I
cheddar.
still think the wrong person won.
I agree.
That's
I
just my
understand
reason.
what
though.
you're doing, but
Yeah.
you could yada 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 a reason.
Yeah,
for
I
that.
got you. I got you. I just want to build a contender pool for my heel champion.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought that-
but if you're building a contender pool, you could do heel. You could put heels in that contender pool.
Yeah, but then it's building heel on heel matchups.
You can.
I could do
figure
that,
something out.
but
You
yeah,
could have the heel champion lose their title.
yeah, at some point. Stay
or
tuned.
to another heel or something. You could.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead, Travis. Sorry.
This was no, you're good. This was a little bit corny to me. Like it
Okay.
wasn't. Not. I wouldn't enjoy this in real life. It feels like an R-Truth segment. It feels like you had to get your Arby's sponsor in somehow.
I'm
I
not
don't
sponsored by
blame him.
Arby's. Fuck Arby's.
BBW. Whoa! Now you lost some points. Don't fuck Arby's.
He really did just lose some pennies because George barked 3 times. So that's 3 pennies off the score.
God damn it.
Fuck Arby's.
Oh, 4. John's like, God damn it, you're making me go bankrupt. No, but seriously, it was fine, but it wasn't extraordinary anyway. It wasn't like there was nothing exceptional about this. It was
Fair.
just perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a 2.5.
Ooh, that didn't feel fine.
That's mid.
This whole thing is over an Arby's sandwich.
Sort of.
Yeah.
This whole thing
It's
is
over.
No,
It's over pride.
there was no title. The whole thing was over an Arby's sandwich. Let's be real. Like that's what sparked it. All she could have had to really do is pay her $8 if she really wanted to.
Well,
or
it's
get her a
over.
new sandwich.
To be fair, it's over her
Blatant
thinking that
disrespect.
her being disrespectful and thinking ODB is a slob and a nasty.
Yeah.
It was corny. That's all.
It was corny, but
It's lower card. It's kind of meant to be that way. Like
I'm gonna-
not like a piss break, but like it's not like the pinnacle of like entertainment.
I don't hate it. I feel like this is a weekly show match rather than a pay-per-view match.
That's fair.
This absolutely could have been done on a weekly, no problem. You could have had that through line of the Arby's all in one week, and you could have settled that on the weekly show. So for match placement and everything else has been said, I'm gonna give you 3.5. Was this the one you weren't sure about?
Yes.
Okay. You were right not to be sure about it.
I disagree with these darts. I'm not going to give you a 5 or anything crazy,
That's
but
fair.
I don't mind it being on the So there's gonna be personal feud ones, and it's a personal. It's pretty much like the Arby's is arbitrary. It's just her thinking that ODB is a slob and trying to use our ODB as a stepping stool to get back into the title picture.
I get it, but this whole stretching this out for as long as it did, this literally could have been settled in a night.
They tried.
Well, they tried to, and then she lost, and then she was like, she's the heel. I'm still coming at you because I want to get my win back.
There was just a lot of unnecessary. It still could have been it. It doesn't feel like a pay-per-view event match. It doesn't feel like a pay-per-view level match for me.
Agreed.
That didn't take it. It didn't completely hurt the score because I was probably sitting at a 4, and then I think a 3.5 was fair for this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a 4. You're muted.
So I'm not mad at a 3.5 or a 4.
All right. And then here I come.
Hey, hold up. It's Iron Sheik's birthday today, and you made him fucking lose.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
I wrote that match like a month ago, so
We presented it today.
It's time for my score, and I'm not
ready.
gonna lie to you, I didn't like any of it. It was bad. It was. I didn't like the fact that it was pretty much the storyline is literally just clean versus dirty. I didn't really like
that's their whole gimmicks. Her name is One Dirty Bitch.
I know. But that's the story. That's the storyline though. It's just clean versus dirty, and then I feel like the way you got on me for having a gimmick match just to have a gimmick match. This feels like this was a gimmick match that it didn't need to escalate to this, in my opinion. It's like, why is it pretty much a death match?
It's not a death match. It's a street fight. There's like one tag spot.
No one's dying.
Yeah, there's nobody's
nobody even bled.
Yeah,
they put out thumbtacks because she eats with her mouth open. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
she put out thumbtacks because she kept getting hit with brass knuckles. Like,
and that's the thing too. That's the other thing I'm taking points off as well, because the fact that she pulled out brass knuckles, hit her in the head. She gets pinned. There's a rope break, and she gets up immediately and hits her with the fall away slam, and then she wins.
Well, that wasn't immediately. Lacey was arguing with the ref for.
He said it was about a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also,
I didn't. Personally, I just didn't like that.
That's fair.
I'm just telling you where the points are coming off.
Yeah.
So that way, when I'm giving you the score, I'm giving you. You understand why I'm giving you what I'm giving you.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then the storyline was bad. Like I enjoyed you doing the accents, like that was enjoyable. But
you did sound like Pepper Farm and the child molester, the kid
pervert.
But this just feels like the whole. It just feels like Madcap Moss. It just feels kind of just.
That's disrespectful.
Madcap Moss is fucking dope.
This is better than Madcap Moss.
I like Madcap Moss, but the thing is, this just feels like this doesn't warrant that. Like this doesn't warrant a pay-per-view match. This could have been like
to be fair, Madcap Moss is about to have a WrestleMania match. So
yeah, and to be fair, it ain't like this the main event. It's the second match. It's a really bad spot on the card because it's not the opener and it's low on the card.
I know, but the fact that we're still watching it though, it's just that kind of thing. So her name is ODB, and what's that first word stand for?
Oh god damn it! You could at least give me a 2.
That's where I'm at. I didn't like it. I didn't want to flat out give you a 0.5, but yeah,
he thought
0.5 came from your accent, and
I'm here for the accent.
By the way, Kenny comparing that match to a death match means I got to up the violence in my death division.
Yeah, nobody even
not
violent.
Not violent enough.
That was not a very violent match. Like there's like a backflip and a super kick.
And that's the thing. I didn't like the backpack thing either. I didn't like that either. I'm sorry.
I
didn't either.
So I will explain. That will make sense later because I do have like another like kind of like extreme match on the card, and the shopping cart thing was already getting done, so I didn't want to like reuse that.
You know what you could do?
What's that?
Trash can.
Should have thought of that. Damn.
Yeah. I just don't. So and she pulled 3 different weapons out that backpack.
She pulled 2. She had a chain and the tacks.
Okay,
because
I remember
Lacey Evans had the pepper spray in the purse. She didn't get anything else out of there.
So wait. So did he pull? So she pulled a bag out of a bag?
No. Lacey brought a bag too.
I hate this. The BYOB is bring your own bag.
So wait.
Give him a penny. Give him a penny for that.
Give me a penny, $1.
No, I'm
I
taking
mean,
a penny. $2.49.
For my
God.
score, make it $4.01.
All right, let's get the scoring on here.
Yeah, he got me. He got me for $1. All right. So my next match, I will do the build first, and then I'll do the card.
Why you keep saying that? Like that's
I don't know.
always the order.
It's what everybody else does, but because I
You do the match first and
Sorry.
then the
No, because
build.
John
No.
usually announces what the match is and then tells us the build.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
but I'm not doing that this time because it's a bad habit, honestly.
It is.
So I'm trying to break that. I'm reminding myself too.
that way we pay attention. That's why.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
each week, Paul London has continued to defend his workhorse championship in hard-fought matches. Oh, I'm stuttering there.
Ew.
Each week, Alex Zane has come out during his match and expressed that he is not impressed by Paul London.
Who
4
was
weeks ago, what'd you say?
Who came out and said this?
Alex. Well, he didn't say this. He's been showing this every week, and I'm gonna explain how. But Alex Zane, he was known as Ari Sterling in WWE for a little bit.
Okay.
Alex Zane in the Indies. He's in GCW. He looks like Mike. Like he dead ass looks just, especially now that Mike dyed his hair, he looks just like Mike.
He does look like Mike.
Yeah, he's like
Who is
Neon
it?
Mike.
Ari
Alex
Sterling?
Zane or Alex Zane, yeah, is what he goes by on the Indies. But he's Ari Sterling in WWE.
I'm not a fucking Mark.
Well, GCW
Call
is
him by
great.
his
So
fucking indie name.
well, I call him that because he was on his run in 205 wasn't very eventful. Honestly, that's why I knew him before that.
Look at on the screen.
He
I'm
do look
looking at
like
it
just
now.
like Mike.
They do look like Mike.
I'm basically looking high five Mike.
That don't look like me.
Yeah,
It does.
It does.
So 4 weeks ago he came. So 4 weeks ago was the week after the New Year's special. Everywhere starting there. So he came out during Paul London's match with free agent Lee Moriarty, wearing footy pajamas and carrying a pillow. He laid down across the announce table and pretended to sleep through the match. After London won, Zane stretched like he had just woke up and walked away. The following week, 3 weeks ago, where was I? Lost my place. There we go. He came out during London's match against Cameron Grimes. Zane comes out dressed like a barista, giving cups of coffee to the crowd, and even giving one to Skip on commentary. London gets the win, but Grimes gets a couple of close 2 counts off of distractions from Zane. 2 weeks ago, London comes out on the mic and says, "When I carry this belt, it means that I'm the best wrestler alive, and I'm down to prove it every time these cameras roll. Alex Zane could have a match with me the moment he wants one, but chooses to interrupt from the sidelines instead. Zane, why don't you come out here and explain what your problem is? Because if you pull another stunt during my match tonight, I'm going to whoop your ass in the back where there's no one to break it up." And Zane walks out and says, "You know, I thought your matches were boring, and then I heard your promos. Good God. You are mayonnaise incarnate. You are so vanilla that it actually hurts me. You were copied and pasted from every dork on the indies who could do a couple flips. You taking up TV time every week is probably the sole reason we lost to PTC in the ratings last week. You see, Polly Bohr, I'm doing the Ballerverse a favor by providing some entertainment during your matches." London retorts, "Me embarrassing you in this ring is plenty of entertainment. Am I right, Atlanta?" And then the crowd cheers. Zane says, "I have bigger plans than that," and then walks away. That night, London wrestles Raul Mendoza and retains. Last week, this was the final week of the build. London
Sorry, Raul.
London is seen walking into LeVar Ball's office. That's my GM, and he asks, "So who's my opponent for the night?" And LeVar tells him that he's going to be facing Brock Lesnar. London is pissed and he looks and asks, "Why hasn't Zane made a challenge yet?" And LeVar just shrugs his shoulders. And London survives his match with Brock Lesnar and then takes a mic to say, "I'm sick of playing these games, Alex. I could defend this belt again tonight. Either fight me or don't. Either you come out here or I go back there." Zane slowly walks out wearing street clothes saying, Unfortunately for you and these fans, I'm not dressed to compete tonight. Here's the deal, Polly. I radiate star power. I am must see in and out of that ring. You can tell by looking at me that I'm not just another guy, and that's where we differ. The problem I have is people are talking about a guy like you instead of a guy like me. So I picked my spots and I called my shots. I got in your head and I got these fans' attention. I'm not going to have this match tonight. That serves me none. I want the bright lights. I want the headlines. Alex Zane has brought the sauce to BBW and desperate times of need. I want this match on Sunday at St. Valentine's Day Massacre so that everyone can see me on the big stage like I deserve. And the best part is, I got you and these fans begging to see me wrestle you. My plan worked. See you Sunday. And then he walks to the back. All right, so here's the attires. London is wearing red trunks and red vest. And Zane is wearing a black fur coat and Baja Blast colored tights with some circular shades. And his hair is a mix.
Blast colored tights.
Yeah. And
I
his
don't know
hair,
if that's a color.
oh, he
Yeah,
be wearing that shit.
Like a dark green. Like, what's that supposed to be?
It's like a greenish turquoise. George going crazy back there. And his hair is a mix of purple and Baja Blast colored. So here's the spots. The bell rings and London just runs up and knees Zane in the face like the Masvidal knee and gets a 2.5 count off the surprise. Zane got his shit rocked. London hits a split leg moonsault.
They hate, but they copy.
London hits a split leg moonsault. London goes to the other corner and gets a running start for a standing shooting star, but he took too long and Zane gets the knees up. Zane hits a big discus lariat. He pulls London up and hits a Canadian destroyer for a 2 count. Zane climbs up the rope backwards as if he's going for a moonsault, and London clubs him in the back. Then he goes out to the apron. He springs up to the top rope and hits a sunset flip power. He sunset flip powerbomb Zane off the top rope. The crowd is chanting, "Holy shit!" London takes too long to get the pin. Zane barely kicks out. They both crawl up and start trading chops to the chest. London starts getting louder chops before Zane stomps on his foot. He hits a back elbow and then London drops to a knee and then hits a Shining Wizard. He hoists London up for a taco driver, which is a cradle pile driver. That is one of his real moves. Like all of his shit's named after Taco Bell.
Yeah, I looked him up and I was like, as soon as I saw his moveset, I was like, I know exactly why John used him.
So he hits a taco driver and goes for the pin combo and gets a close 2. Zane climbs up the turnbuckle and poses before attempting the crunch wrap, which is shooting star press knees to the back. As London gets up, London moves out of the way of the crunch wrap and Zane hits his knees on the ground hard.
I hate these names. I hate these names.
London mocks Zane. Hey, you think Brian and Kendrick and Paul London have bad mood names? Look at this man.
This is bad.
London mocks Zane's taunt before going off the ropes and hitting a big stomp on Zane. He then hoists him up for an even worse named move, Paul London's finisher, the waffle face, in the middle of the ring and pins him 1, 2, 3. So Paul London retains. And I gotta ask about like when to rate, because as you know, the rule with this title is that there can be 2 defenses in a night, and I don't know if I should count those both as one match or 2.
I would count them as 2 separate matches.
Okay, so I'm good for ratings on this one now.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a 3.75. So I think overall the match was good. I think the build was okay. Like there was nothing I hated about it, but there was nothing like I loved either. I do think the wrong person won again.
Gotcha.
I think Zane should have won. You were building towards Zane winning. Paul London is okay, but I don't see him being like this dominant champion.
Oh yeah,
that-
it's
that
a
you're
title that
kind of
moves
building
around
him
a
to.
lot, so he's only held it for like a month, and that's extraordinary for this title.
But I feel like the way you built up Zane and like he planned and he did all of this and then to just lose, it kind of it feels like I said, the wrong person won. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm gonna give you a 3.75.
Question.
Answer.
Zane was the heel, London was the face.
Correct.
The build to me was kind of lacking, especially from the guy that always prides himself on being the build
Hey,
guy.
I stopped that a while ago.
Did you?
Yeah, because I got cooked.
I think that your
I'll pride myself
reputation
on
lives
nothing.
with you, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like you talked about like the promos and the builds and everything, and that's what you always ask us for. And I feel like you didn't deliver that here. I think it was kind of half-assed. And the match was fine, I guess. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
But
With this division, it's kind of hard to write builds because the champion has to defend every week.
that's. But
and I know that I wrote myself into that, but
Yeah,
it's,
I
it's like
can't.
the theme of this title is mostly around the wrestling, is kind of why like the
Yeah.
builds are always going to be lesser here than in other places on the card.
I get that, but I'm not giving you a buy.
Yeah,
that,
I know. I'm just explaining that.
The wrong person won. Again. I don't know if you're purposely trying to like do the all the good guys win thing, or this is coincidental. But I don't like it.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, I didn't care for this, to be honest with you. I think this title is weird. I think you put weird rules with it. You did weird, like you booked yourself into a corner. There's like not much you can really do with it. I'm gonna give you a 1.75.
Jesus Christ, that number is way worse than what your words were.
I kind of think you picked the wrong person with Paul London to be like your. Like I know you said he's only had it for a month, but it feels like he's been dominant, especially because we saw the first month and he's defended it like 7 or 8 times.
You have to defend this title every week,
and you can defend it twice, right?
Right,
twice a night. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That is weird.
He's I don't mind that part, but he's defended it a bunch, and I feel like Paul London isn't that guy. You're not that guy, pal.
I don't mind the moan, but what I mind is that you're sacrificing story to give this gimmicky belt that is just. But I mean, as you've said before, in your mind, belts are just toys, so they don't matter anymore.
Well, for this, it was supposed to be like the match belt, I guess. It was like people who like work a lot. It's kind of like
you could just do a TV title. You didn't have to do all this extra.
Yeah, I was trying to be different.
Okay. Well, sometimes you swing for the fences and you strike out. That's all. That's how I feel about this.
That honestly, Travis took the words literally out of my mouth. I was going to say the build was lacking. The match, in my opinion, saved it, but I feel like you kind of fucked yourself up with a title that you have to defend every week. And I feel like, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that title loses its prestige when it doesn't feel like a title, if that makes sense. It literally has to defend it every week. It's like, okay, like this could literally be like kind of like 24/7 belt. Like I don't really see that as like a for real belt. Like it's just kind of just.
I was trying to do a more serious take on a belt of that style, but rather than doing like a hardcore title of the 24/7 where they chase people around, it's built off like actual in-ring competition. So I was trying to do a serious take on one of those type of belts.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, even though you're trying to make it serious, I can't take it seriously because literally the fact that you can defend it twice in the same, I don't know, twice in the same night, I don't know.
It's the workhorse. You got to be able to work twice a night.
I don't like that though. Like I can see
like it, but
I can see
I see the problems with it. But
you do that once in the year. You know what I'm saying? Like you worked your ass off, and then it's like, oh man, this guy comes in and it kind of plays into the story. This guy came in and took it from him at this time. But this is like this can happen any given night, and it can happen a lot. And at this point, it loses allure. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really mess with it. So I have to go with the 2 as well.
I understand what you're doing with the title. I think some of the rules are weird. What is the title called? Exactly.
Workhorse title.
Is it called the workhorse title?
Yes.
I think the wrong person won. I don't hate it nearly as much as they did. I think the title rules are weird. but I'm not gonna necessarily hold that against you because that is definitely trying something different, and maybe it'll work out more in the long run. I'm going with a 4.
I feel like y'all are so nice to
Also,
and forgiving to John.
Those
Those are my fucking boys.
I disagree entirely with Kenny when he talks about how it devalues the title. I think it adds value to the title because you have to defend it every single night. Every single week you have
and
to,
it might be twice,
and maybe twice. You have it adds something to it.
It better be twice every single week.
And it's not even like it's different than the 24/7 or like the hardcore title was because those were like gimmicky matches and like running around.
This is gimmicky.
Kept pinning.
This is gimmicky.
I get
It's
it.
a
But
gimmick.
The belt is,
it's
but the
a
matches
gimmick.
aren't.
It's a yeah, exactly. It's the matches themselves aren't. He's not doing
the
like
title is a
blow-up
vehicle
dolls or anything like that.
The
He's
title,
he's having straightforward matches.
BBW is the John Cena of Booketverse.
I was gonna say y'all give it this is the potential. Like you guys are going off of potential.
Exactly.
That's
Thank
what
you.
you're doing.
Thank you.
You're
They're
allowed
so
to like
forgiving
something,
and
you
they're-
know.
Shut up. They're so forgiving and they see the silver lining of everything John does, but
I
anybody
see
else,
the-
these motherfuckers will be cooking you for
no,
shit.
I
I do
see
regular
story.
wrestling logic, and these motherfuckers will cook me for
Sorry,
it.
I'm more likable
this
than you.
is pretty good wrestling. This is it's an off the wall idea. This is standard wrestling logic.
He doesn't
And
get
He
doesn't get bonus points for having a bad idea.
I'm not giving him. I don't think it's a bad idea. That's the point. I think it's a good idea. I think it adds prestige to the title because you can't avoid defending it. You have to defend it, the state champion. So I think that adds value to it. Doesn't take it away.
Dub.
Yeah, I'm sick with my 4.
Bring out the fucking.
Let's go to the next
All right. So after the match, London holds up his title in the middle of the ring, and some unfamiliar infomercial music plays as Simon Dean walks onto the stage with a megaphone saying, "Wow, guys, incredible match. You both got some awesome cardio in. It doesn't seem like you're on the right regimen, though, because you don't look like you have much left. If you were both on the Simon system, you'd have endless stamina and much more definition. But don't take my word for it. Meet my newest client and your second opponent tonight, Paul London, the Machine, Brian Cage." And then Brian Cage's music plays as he steps out. He makes his way to the ring, and London tries to collect himself in the corner. All right. So here is the spots. So London ducks a big punch from Cage and starts trying to kick the legs. Cage grabs him from underneath his arms and he literally picks him up underneath his arms and he throws London over the top rope out of the ring. Just fucking yeets him. And then the count goes to 8. London barely slides in to hold on to his title hopes because remember you can lose titles via count out in my promotion. So London makes it in at an 8. Cage turns around and London goes for a Hurricane Rana, but he instantly regrets this choice as Cage holds him in powerbomb position, walking to the corner, to the center of the ring, and hits a disgusting sit-out powerbomb. Into a pin combo, London kicks out at 2. London tries to scurry to the corner to escape. Cage goes for a stinger splash and misses. London then hits a springboard drop kick to the back of his head. London then hits a Shining Wizard to the back of Cage's head. He goes off the ropes facing Cage, like he runs off the ropes facing towards Cage, but Cage responds with a deep 6. Cage comes off the corner and tries a clothesline. London ducks. And then, so Cage tries to corner clothesline him. London ducks. And then he goes for a corner moonsault. And then Cage catches him mid-air and turns it into a pump handle face buster. And then hooks the leg and pins him. 1, 2, 3. Brian Cage is your new workhorse champion. And he is not signed to BBW. He is an indie superstar, by the way. So that's also an important note to take.
Okay, so John, you took me on a roller coaster. You almost made me regret everything I said previously. I was ready to give you a 0.5, but then you saved it with Brian Cage because I thought you were doing Simon Dean versus.
Y'all really think I would do that?
Yes, I do. Because you would.
I wasn't sending Simon Dean out there with that shit. I knew I would die if I did that. He's a manager.
But then you saved it, and I actually really like this, and I like this. So I'm gonna give you a 5 for this.
Let's fucking go.
I'll go last because I want to see what everybody else has to fucking say about this shit. Because I can't believe what I just fucking heard.
Get fucking ratio, bozo.
Mike.
Yeah, my boy Mike. I ride for my fucking clique.
Stop trying to sway the judges.
All right. So actually, I really liked it because I wasn't expecting that to happen. I'm gonna go with another 4.
Fuck these guys. I love these guys.
Kenny, what you got? Because I can't believe what I'm hearing.
I can't either. I don't know. Like, it's gonna be another show where it's divided again. Because
I know. I say he's the John Cena of fucking Bookverse.
I don't like this fucking title, and then it's just the I don't like this title, and then the fact that it's just
Okay.
I don't like this. I don't like any of this. If I was watching this, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
It's just fucking Simon Dean comes out talking shit, and he's like, I got a big buff guy for you. And it's like, what did he do to
He's
get
on the
this
Simon
guy?
system.
I don't get any of this.
When you're the workhorse champion, you accept every challenge.
This feels like Inception.
Unless you're the third
but there's no
challenger that
explanation. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna feel like it's gonna seem like I'm hating, but I'm really not trying to. I just don't like this.
Go ahead and give it to him.
I'm going.
Don't act like that pump handle face buzzer wasn't sick, Kenny. You know you love them spots.
What'd you say, Kenny?
I'm going with a 1.75. I don't like this.
I'm the hater because I hated this. You would have got more points. You would have got points if you would have had Simon Dean do it. Bring out Brian Cage.
You would have gotten a 0.5 if you had Simon Dean.
Yeah, I'll take the 5 over a 2 from Travis.
Guess what you're getting for having Brian Cage do it? A 0.5. I hate it.
I got a 5 from Damone. Because you wouldn't have given me a 5 for Simon Dean.
Right. And it makes sense because he's
you're right.
Simon Dean's the manager, and he has his monster go out and destroy the already
and you have the ultimate body guy on the side.
I understand what happened. I don't need it to be dumbed down for me.
Yeah,
I just didn't like it. It was the segment was dumb enough. I didn't need anything else.
That's crazy.
You're dumb.
Oh, it makes sense. It's very wrestling. All right.
Yes.
You're only halfway through.
Yeah, I'm about halfway. Anyway.
You're booking a Travis show. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right.
Not really. We're only an hour in. We'd be on
hour
match
and 17
2.
minutes in.
We'd be on match 2 for Travis.
Is this match 3 or 4?
That was match 4.
All right. So we're at the halfway point, right? Because you have 9 matches.
Yeah, basically, this is the 5th match.
So it's going to end up being 2 hours and 30 minutes, guys.
Come on.
If y'all shut the fuck up, then it won't go that long.
Go ahead, John. You're doing great.
All right. Continuing forward.
I hate this coalition.
It's not a coalition. He's doing great.
This is the ugliest trio I've ever seen. Right?
Gang shit.
Yuck.
Me and my fucking boys. Anyways, the first week on the New Year's Eve special, there's George, random surprise as I keep going. The Underclass Gang, if you remember, is the Trios champions. They are being interviewed by Stephen A. Smith. That consists of Taz, Eddie Kingston, and Biker Chuck Palumbo. They are being...
Why'd you use Biker Chuck?
Just so you know which aesthetic that's not fucking Billy and Chuck.
Okay.
It's Biker Chuck Palumbo.
Okay.
Because he wouldn't fit in if I didn't make that clarification.
Wait, is his name Biker Chuck?
No, his name is just Chuck Palumbo, but he's not wearing a red headband.
Fuck Palumbo.
Fuck Palumbo. Fuck Palumbo.
I like Biker Chuck. If y'all gonna make me do Lizzie Rude, y'all gotta do fucking Biker Chuck.
Biker Chuck. Fuck it, I'll change his name.
Hey, put your titties away.
All right. So Stephen A. asks, so how do you guys feel representing a division that General Manager Ball said wasn't good enough last week? And then
I forgot LeVar Ball is your fucking manager.
Yeah.
I think
he's
you
been
said
mentioned
General
like 5
Manager
times
Ball.
in stories.
No, but
he's said it a bunch.
You said General Manager Ball. I think you said General Manager Balls, and I said, what the fuck? I was
Balls.
like, damn it,
Nope,
Dick and
Balls
Balls
is over
this one
here.
too.
Dick and Balls. So Eddie Kingston approaches the mic saying, "It's bullshit. I can't think of a prettier way to say that. We spent our whole lives fighting to ensure that we had a place to stay and food on the table. And we finally reached the pinnacle of success. And he wants to say that's not good enough? If he wants to talk about not good enough, maybe he should look at his middle child that he's trying to give our jobs to. LeVar, we have proven that we are the most dangerous trio in wrestling. If your kids want to share a ring with us, their careers will end. And the same goes for any other trio that steps up to us." And Stephen A cuts in and says, all right, enough about the Ball family. It looks like some new competition did step up to you last week and even ran you out of the ring. What's your response to the private practice? Taz stepped forward and says, watch their match tonight and find out. And then the private practice has a match that night against Sanity. And mid-match, the underclass gang hops the barricade and they pull Britt Baker off the apron for the DQ. And then Kingston and Palumbo fight off Wagner and Stevie while Taz throws Britt Baker into the steps and then boots her head into them. Taz slides in the ring and continues to assault Stevie and Wagner. They remove the turnbuckle and buckle bomb Wagner and then hit their finish called Scatterbrains on Richards. And that is where Kingston and Taz hold them in like half Nelson, like skull crushing finale position. And then Chuck does like a big boot into a stomp from behind.
Wait. So each of them have an arm?
Yeah, they have like a arm and like the head's like a. They're basically making two halves of like a skull crushing finale, and then Palumbo comes in with the boot and like kicks him down.
Yeah, I remember that from last time.
So they hit that onto Richards, and Kingston grabs a mic and says, "This is our ring. This is our division. This is our show. We made something from nothing, and none of you will take it from us." And then he throws the mic at Wagner in the corner.
Not at Dr. Wagner Jr.
All right, so throughout the next week, Britt Baker updates on Twitter that she's okay from the attack, but tweets that the underclass gang needs serious help. Dr. Stevie quote tweets that with an eyes emoji. The Sunday before Malice, it is announced on the BBW social media that the underclass gang have agreed to a session with Dr. Stevie live on Malice. The ring is set up like a therapist's office, with Stevie sitting across from the three of them. And Stevie says to them, I'm going to try to do his voice, "I invited you three here today so that I and the Ballerverse could try to understand you better."
The Ballerverse.
You did it earlier.
Yeah, I did. And the Ballertron.
I've heard Ballertron. I didn't hear Ballerverse.
So I'll say, I'll start with the first question, guys. Do you feel like the world has failed you in some way? They give simple nods of yes. I'll ask another question. Do you feel like wrestling was an escape from where you came from? And then they nod yes. Do you feel threatened by competition? And Eddie picks up the mic and says, hell no, I don't. Ask another stupid question like that again, and I'll beat the brakes off you. Stevie asks, do you feel like you deserve your success, or do you act this way out of insecurity? Taz and Palumbo stand up, and Eddie responds, not how you think. We were never insecure about ourselves, but we have spent a lot of time wondering what we're going to eat, what we're going to wear, where we're going to stay, if we'll be alive next year. Whether someone will kill us or whether we'll do it to our damn selves. You pretentious assholes will never understand our struggle. These privileged fans with all this disposable income to be here tonight and these billionaires that run this show will never understand. So yeah, Stevie, there's a little bit of a chip on our shoulders. You got me. And Stevie tries to cut in, and Eddie says, oh, George cuts in apparently. Eddie tells him,
like 7 pennies.
Shut the hell up, Stevie. And Taz stands up and grabs the mic from Eddie and said, you could have just challenged us for the titles, but instead, you tried to make a fool of us. Sorry. You are going to regret that for the rest of your life. And then Palumbo boots Stevie backwards in the chair. Wagner and Britt try to run out, but they get knocked off the apron. Taz punches Stevie in the head until he's busted open. They go outside the ring. and they backdrop Britt Baker onto the apron, and they bash Wagner into the barricade. When they're done, they grab a chair and go back to Stevie. They hit Scatterbrains, chew him onto the chair, and then they walk up the ramp with their music playing. All right, so the third week, Britt Baker and Dr. Wagner are backstage without Stevie. Britt says, "I'd just like to start off by saying that the beloved Dr. Stevie is okay. He's just suffering from a little encephalitis, which means that his brain is huge." And then Wagner says, "It's true. Look it up." Britt continues, "Dr. Stevie's therapy session last week led us to two conclusions. First of which was that Taz was right. We should challenge for the Trios Championships. Dr. Stevie should be back in office by February 12th, so that we can have a follow-up at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The second conclusion we reached is that we don't want to wait until then for a checkup. So General Manager Ball has booked Dr. Wagner to face Chuck Palumbo tonight, with the winner getting to pick the stipulation." So the match takes place, and Baker grabs a sledgehammer from under the ring to keep Taz and Kingston from interfering. Wagner beats Chuck, and Britt says, "Some might think that because of my size or my gender, that we would be at a disadvantage in this match. But at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, there will be a number of equalizers all around the ring to increase the probability of us whooping your asses all the way around New Orleans. After making these calculations, we'll be facing you in an Extreme Rules match." And then Taz and Kingston are retreating up the ramp, and they kind of smile when she says that, and they're yelling into the camera unmiked, "All right then, suit yourself." Fourth week, final week from the build. After a match on Malice, commentary is alerted about some chaos in the parking lot. The camera shows the Underclass gang hitting scatterbrains on Dr. Wagner onto the hood of a car, and Britt Baker gets up from the concrete and gets a good hit on Taz, knocking him to a knee. Kingston and Palumbo swarm on her and then throw her at the windshield to make a pile with Dr. Wagner. They're walking backwards away from it, and they hear the clearing of a throat, like, and they turn around to see Dr. Stevie. His head's wrapped up, and he has a chair in hand. He gets Kingston with a signature chair shot and then backs away. Taz and Palumbo try to corner him. Stevie tosses the chair into the hands of Taz, super kicks it into his face. Where am I? There I am. He then double legs Palumbo and starts wailing on him. He then opens the trunk in the parking lot and throws Palumbo in and shuts it on him. He goes up to the camera and says, 6 days. That's your prognosis. I'm trying to do that Stevie Richards' dry-ass voice. That's your prognosis, and prognosis means how long you have left to be a disease in this locker room. BBW gets a long-needed procedure on Sunday.
I was really hoping you were going to say you're going to trim the fat from BBW.
That would be cold with Eddie Kingston being their opponent. All right, so for the attires, the private practice is doing all-white gear. They have matching surgical masks and lab coats for their entrance. Stevie has the white biker shorts. Britt has the white rhinestone gear, and Wagner has a white mask and tights. And they wheel out a medical gear on a stretcher as their weapons. Underclass gang is wearing a combination of black and doo-doo brown, and they are all wearing matching Timbs. And Kingston wears a ski mask for his entrance, and they have a shopping cart full of weapons. So the match starts with all 6 competitors running to the middle of the ring and throwing hands. Underclass gang gets the better of that, and they knock private practice back. Private practice leans back into the ropes and shoot back with synchronized enziguris. Wagner tosses Kingston into the corner. Britt and Stevie push the shopping cart into him. Britt grabs a hockey stick from there and wails on Palumbo and Taz. Stevie gets a crutch from the medical tools and does the witch on the broom spot from the top rope on the Taz, where they fly like the thing like a witch on there. Eddie pulls out brass knuckles and gets a good shot on Britt and Wagner to give Underclass gang the momentum back. They do a triple power bomb on Stevie out of the ring and onto the stretcher. Kingston and Palumbo set up a pile of chairs, and then Taz hits a super Tazplex onto Britt Baker onto them. So Tazplex off the top. Stevie grabs one of the chairs and wails on their heads, and then he goes on to have a super kick party in the ring. Stevie and Wagner drag Palumbo to the outside. They hit him with the ring bell, knocking him down onto the announce table. Wagner sets up a ladder and climbs, and he goes for a diving elbow off it, but he takes too long, and Chuck moves out of the way. Palumbo corners Stevie into Taz and Kingston. They all beat him down, and then Palumbo military presses Stevie out into the audience. This leaves Britt Baker all alone, laying down in the ring from the Super Tazplex earlier. Kingston directs them to concerto her while he sets up a table in the corner. So they hit the concerto on Britt, and he tells them to pick her up, and then he lights the table in the corner on fire. And then they set up and hit Scatterbrains on Britt through the flaming table in the corner and pin her 1, 2, 3. And the Underclass Gang retained the Trios Championships.
I'll start this one off. I like this. I like Dr. Stevie being like this pretentious, like, let me explain these medical terms to you. Like, it comes off real dickish, and I like that. The match, I like the spots in the match as well. The actual like rivalry was kind of like but I do like the segments with the private party. So I'm gonna go I'm gonna go 4.
I'll take that. Finally got a good rating from Kenny tonight. Now I just need one from Travis.
I need to sit with mine for a second.
Yeah, save up that change.
Mike, you want to go?
I like the story. I like the build. The match is good. I don't have any real complaints about it, so I'm also gonna go with another 4.
Take a 4 any day.
I'm gonna give you 4 too. I wish that Britt got a little bit more offense in to sell her as a threat. Especially because you're doing them as a trios group.
Yeah.
So I wish she got a little bit more offense, and I wish like during the weekly it wasn't just the private part or practice for the most part just getting their ass whipped just to get their ass whipped again at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, well they won in the parking lot.
Yeah, kinda, because like 2 out of the 3 still got like stacked on a car.
Yeah. Dr. Stevie made the save.
Dr. Stevie won. But overall, I like the build. I like all this stuff with private practice, like them giving medical terms and then explaining it. Them coming out with like the white medical stuff and using a stretcher. I like all of that. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a 4.
I'll take that.
I'll give you a 4.
Clean 4. I'll take it. All right, now we got Travis's favorite championship up next, the Western Hemisphere PEMDAS Long Division Championship. The Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader Championship.
I hate this.
Anyways, so after a scathing interview with Stephen A. Smith last week, Booker T is going in on Orange Cassidy. He has been tweeting about Cassidy every single day. On Malice, Booker gets in the ring and cuts a promo saying, should I even try this voice?
Is Booker? Who's the champion?
What?
Who's the champion here?
Orange Cassidy.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it was Orange Cassidy or Booker.
All right. I've been in this business. That sounds like Triple H.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
For many years, I have done everything there is to do in every company I've worked for.
You went Trump for a second.
This is a hard voice, man. I have done everything that there is to do in every company I've worked for. I've even been at the top of BBW. I know a thing or two about wrestling. With all this wisdom I've gained over the years, I can tell you that. Orange Cassidy, you do not have a place in this industry. The crowd boos. Your lack of effort makes me sick, and the fact that you've coasted for this long is an indictment on everyone you've ever faced. Orange Cassidy, you are a sad image of a wrestler, and I'm going to embarrass you so badly that you never show your face on TV again. Get your ass out here.
Sucker.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy slowly meanders his way to the ring. He rolls in the ring and stands face to face with Booker, hands in his pockets. Booker continues, look at this outfit. Do you ever even wash those jeans? Is that pomade or grease in your hair? The crowd boos, and Orange says nothing. Booker says, are you deaf Answer me! And then tries to buck at him to make him flinch. Orange stays still. Booker gets angrier and grabs Orange by the collar, yelling in his face, "You think this is all a joke until you get your ass beat. Say something. Do something." And Orange grabs the mic and says, "Your shoe's untied." Booker looks down, and Orange calmly walks out of the ring. Booker is irate and runs into the rope trying to get Orange, but Orange is already out of the ring. The next week, Booker continues to tweet hate at Cassidy. Cassidy doesn't respond to the tweets, he just likes them. On Malice, the show starts with Booker aggressively pacing by Orange Cassidy's locker area, mumbling about how he's going to beat his ass. Throughout the show, clips are shown of Booker doing this, asking people if they've seen him, and getting mad and punching the walls. At the end of the show, Booker gives up and makes his way towards his car. He then finally sees Orange getting into his car. He runs over and starts pounding on the window. Orange slightly rolls it, cracks it down, wearing a party hat, and says, "Hey, Book, did you not get invited to Hillbilly Jim's birthday party? You missed the Rager." And then rolls it back up, and Booker gets mad and starts trying to reach into the car as Orange drives away. The next week, Booker is in General Manager Ball's office, and he says, "Listen, LeVar, I don't ask a lot of you, but I have to get a title shot at Orange Cassidy. This man has been haunting me everywhere I go. I accidentally called Charmel Orange last night, and I had to sleep on the couch. Give me that match." And Ball says, "What is with these wrestlers and demanding matches from me? Why don't you just go ask Orange himself? Now get out of my office." It is announced that night that Xavier Woods is at a Smash Brothers tournament, so that the New Day will have an honorary member tonight when they face the Model Citizens. The Model Citizens is Dashing Cody Rhodes and Pretty Deadly. The match comes, and Orange Cassidy is the honorary member of the New Day, throwing free oranges into the crowd. Booker comes out as the team scuffle outside. Orange is still at his apron. Kofi is in the ring and hits a big dive onto everyone, including Booker. When Booker gets up, he goes to Orange on the apron, trying to pull him down, but Orange keeps accidentally stepping away from him. The ref sends Booker to the back, but Booker refuses to leave, getting the Model Citizens disqualified. The Model Citizens are pissed and go to Booker, shoving him and talking shit. While this happens, Orange climbs up to the top rope and trust falls onto all of them outside the ring. Orange Cassidy and the New Day walk away enjoying their win. On the final week before the show, Booker still doesn't have his match with Orange Cassidy. That night, Orange is making an entrance to the ring, and Booker attempts an attack. Orange is able to evade it first, but then he goes for an orange punch off the apron. Booker kicks him in the balls as he's coming down. He then throws him into the steps, and then slams his head into him again. He throws Orange and the title into the ring, and then hits a bookend onto the title, slamming his back into it. When Orange rolls over, Booker holds the title up. He then drops it onto Orange and leaves the ring. As Booker makes his way out of the ring, Orange sits up and puts a hand up for a mic. He says, "If you wanted a match for this, all you had to do was ask. You free Sunday?" And then Booker is on the ramp yelling trash talk. He's like, "Yeah, I'm free on Sunday. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take your title, and I'm going to embarrass you in front of everybody." And he's just kind of yelling unmiked into the camera. And that will take us to the show. And Orange is just in his usual denim attire. He doesn't change that ever. Booker's in black and white tights. Well, trunks, not tights. He's not wearing long boys. So Booker starts the match using his size advantage to dominate early. He does a vertical suplex and holds him up to show off. He hits a big spin kick to Orange out of the ring. This leads to a big sidewalk slam onto the apron. Booker pushes Orange into the ring and follows. Orange taps Booker his head with his foot as he gets in, he pretends to kick him. As he gets in with the crowd acting like it's a huge kick. Booker looks confused. Orange lightly kicks the shins of Booker, and Booker gets angrier. He lifts his hands up and puts them in his pockets. Booker swings for a punch. Orange ducks, goes off the ropes with hands still in pockets, and hits a front drop kick, kipping up after. Booker later in the match, goes for an arm twist kick, but Orange gets him in an ankle lock. Booker crawls to the outside out of the ankle lock, and then Orange suicide dives with his hands still in his pockets. Orange throws Booker into the ring, climbs up to the top rope, and he goes for a lazy splash where he just kind of gets up and just goes like falls onto him. So he goes for a lazy splash. Where was that? Sorry, lost my place. Goes for a lazy splash, but Booker catches him and hits a 110th Street Slam, which is just a fall. It's like a spine buster, but he doesn't turn with him. He just goes straight down. He goes for a pin attempt and gets a frustrating 2 count. Booker actually hits a bookend in the match, but gets another frustrating 2 count. Booker goes up top for a Houston hangover, but Orange Cassidy calmly rolls away to the other side of the ring. Orange slowly gets up in his corner, and Booker hits a stinger splash and a Harlem sidekick as Orange steps out. Booker waits on him to get up and goes for a scissors kick. Orange, with his head still down in scissors kick position, just takes 2 steps back, and Booker misses the scissors kick. And then as Booker turns around to face him, Orange Cassidy just flattens him with an orange punch and pins him 1, 2, 3. And after the match, Orange stands in the middle of the ring with his hands in his pockets while Booker gets up. Orange takes his hand out of his pocket and extends his hand to Booker for a handshake. Booker stares angrily for a second and then finally gives like a small nod of respect and accepts the handshake, kind of like that frustrated, like, all right, and then just walks away kind of handshake. And now I am good for your ratings.
Okay, so it was a pretty standard Orange Cassidy match. What's the orange punch, by the way?
It's the Superman punch.
Okay. So it was pretty standard. The build was okay. There were bits that were funny. I did not like that Booker shook his hand at the end. I feel like Booker should have like smacked his hand away or something. Not just like accepted it, especially after he's just spent like weeks screaming at himself or that he's trying to get Orange Cassidy. Then to just lose and just shake his hand. I don't like that.
Yeah, he kind of thought he was a joke, and then he was like, "Oh shit, he can actually wrestle."
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a 3.
All right.
I wanted to like this more. I did. It was very mid. I'm gonna also give it a 3.
Well, I'm gonna seem like the hater again. I'm really not trying to.
I already see Travis ready to give you the 0.5. So just give him his 0.5, Travis, so Kenny can do his.
No, I'm gonna go last.
It's just
can't go any lower than a 0.5, so I'm not too scared.
It's the fact that the first week he's grabbing him, he's screaming in his face, and then he says, "Your shoe was untied," and then walks off.
That's Orange Cassidy.
Like I said, they don't like anything that's not rawr.
It is
No,
stupid,
that's not true.
But that is Orange Cassidy's like bit.
No, I like Orange Cassidy, but it's just like, so he's yelling in his face. Does he let go of him, and does he walk away, or?
Yeah, he lets go because he wants Orange to do something. Like he's like, say something, do something, and then Orange takes the mic. So Booker wants a response. Booker wants a response. So that Orange takes the mic to say something, and he just says, "Your shoe's untied," and then Booker looks down, and Orange gets out of the ring.
Okay.
Hey Kenny, your shoe's untied.
Yeah, I didn't like the build at all. The actual match wasn't that bad. I'm not gonna play you on that. The actual match wasn't that bad. The build, I hated the build. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hated the build, but the actual match wasn't that bad. So that's what's saving you again. So I'm gonna go with a 2.25 is what I'm gonna go with.
I'll take it. I've seen worse.
I didn't like it. Yeah, because I've seen worse.
Travis, just get it over with.
You're about to see worse.
Yeah. I already know what I'm getting from him, so if he gives me even $1, I'll be surprised pleasantly.
Well, buckle up, Bucko, because I'm giving you a 2. I didn't hate it that much.
Oh shit!
I
Okay,
just didn't
Travis.
like it.
Hey,
He just didn't like it.
you gave me 4 times what I was expecting from you, so all right. That's the happiest 2 I've ever gotten. All right, so go on to our next build. A number 1 contender match for the women's title takes place. The match is between Kairi Sane and Mandy Rose, which Kairi Sane wins. After that match, the camera cuts backstage to the hallway where the Femme Fatalities, if you remember that group that is Lita, the women's champion, and then is also Rhea Ripley, Shotzi Blackheart, and Paige.
Is this fresh off of them whooping on JR?
It was Lawler, and this is the
Or,
week.
what's the difference? Say Jerry King Lawler. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, this is the week before. The week after. So Kairi Sane just won a number 1 contenders match to face Lita against Mandy Rose, and the camera cuts backstage, and they are beaten down on Kairi Sane. This goes on for a bit until a returning Big Swole runs up and starts throwing punches on all of them. She one-shots Paige and Shotzi, and then she pushes Lita into Rhea and starts throwing shots at them both. Her known boyfriend, Cedric Alexander, tries to break it up until Ronnie Radke, the manager of the Femme Fatalities, runs up and tries to punch Cedric. This has no effect on Cedric whatsoever, and even to the point where Shannon on commentary says, "It ain't sweet, Ronnie." And then Cedric bows up, and Ronnie Radke runs away, like as fast as he can. Cedric successfully pulls Swole away and starts helping Kairi as the Femme Fatalities run off. Kairi is seen holding her shoulder after the attack. Next week, Big Swole comes out to cut a promo. She says, and I'm not going to be doing any impressions of her. I'm just going to go straight forward. Sorry about delivery. I have some good news and some bad news. And I'll have to start with the bad news. The bad news is that it's true that the rumors that you're reading on social media that Kairi Sane is going to be out for a few weeks with a rotator cuff injury. The rumors about her not making St. Valentine's Day Massacre are true. The good news is, after all these months I've been out with a torn ACL, rehab, physical therapy, going through hell, I am finally back and cleared to compete, which means I can step in for Kairi, toss these emo bitches around, and offer her a shot at my BBW Women's Championship when she gets back. And the crowd cheers until the music of the Femme Fatalities plays, which is Falling in Reverse's song Raised by Wolves, sung by Ronnie Radke himself. The 4 girls come out with Lita on the mic saying, "You're way ahead of yourself. Just because you got hurt doesn't mean you can milk these idiots' sympathy and jump the line. You should probably, I lost my place. You should probably be getting some reps in rather than committing career suicide. I guess there's a reason your name's not Big Smart." And as they're all laughing at this lame joke on the ramp, Ronnie Radke runs in the ring from behind and starts attacking Swole. The other 4 go to the ring and swarm around. So basically it's 5-on-1 assault on Big Swole until Cedric runs out and clears the ring. Following week, General Manager LeVar Ball has called Lita and Big Swole into his office. He says, "We have ourselves a predicament in the women's division, I see. An injured number 1 contender, a return from a serious injury, people's boyfriends getting involved, factions. It's all too much to keep up with. Swole, Lita was right about one thing. You do need to get some reps in. You're going to get some tonight as we clear this mess up. Big Swole and Cedric Alexander will face Paige and Ronnie Radke in a mixed tag team match. And if Swole's team wins, she will get that title shot at St. Valentine's Day Massacre." That match takes place with Radke doing everything he can to stay out of the match and avoid Cedric. The other Femme Fatalities get up from commentary and go ringside when Swole gets the better of Paige. They hop onto the apron, but Swole military press throws Paige at all of them, knocking them to the floor. The ref sends them to the back, and Swole makes the long-awaited tag to Cedric, meaning that Ronnie Radke finally has to face him in the ring. Ronnie runs away from Cedric, but as he runs toward the rope to escape, Cedric grabs him by the belt. Ronnie screams like a girl as he hurls him up and hits him with a lumbar check. The crowd chants, "One more time, one more time," and he hits it 2 more times and then pins Radke. Well, sorry, no, he doesn't pin Radke. And he tags in Swole, who hits the Swole combo and Dirty Dancing her triple twist lariat onto Paige and gets the pin on Paige during the title shot. Sorry, I spoke there. On the final week on the Go Home show, Big Swole comes out and says, "It's nothing but good news today. Big Swole is your number one contender, and Ronnie Radke won't be bothering this show for a very long time." And the crowd starts chanting, "Thank you, Cedric." And now about Sunday, and right as she says this, the music of Kairi Sane hits. She has tape on her shoulder and she makes a beeline for the ring. She gets in Swole's face and says, "You don't speak for me. I was coming back from my title match, and this is still my moment." And they start jabbering in each other's faces as the Femme Fatalities come out. And Lita says, "There's no point in arguing, because neither of you would win anyway. Swole, you thought you were so badass when Cedric bullied a non-wrestler. Congratulations. There's still 4 of us. I know you're not very smart, but I think you can do that math. The funniest part is now you can't even add 1 to your side. Kairi Sane hates you now. You saw her pain as an opportunity to become relevant again. Thank me later. I leaked that she'd be out to the dirt sheets. I was hoping for a night off from carrying this company, but I guess I'll have to just embarrass the both of you at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And for you lucky fans, here's a sneak peek." And the Femme Fatalities make their way toward the ring, and Kairi does a plancha at them. And Swole and Kairi get the better until Kairi holds up the belt. So like they beat down the Femme Fatalities. Kairi Sane holds up the women's championship. Swole snatches it, and they start fighting each other until the Femme Fatalities get up and beat them both down. They throw Kairi's shoulder into the ring post, and they on the other side ring post, Paige and Shotzi have Swole's bad knee getting swung into it, and they basically leave them in a heap walking away. So the match is going to be Lita defending in a triple threat against Big Swole and Kairi Sane. All right. So to start the match, Swole and Kairi look at each other, nod, and then both hit a double drop kick on Lita. And Lita slides out of the ring and regroups with the Femme Fatalities. Sane runs off the ropes for Swole to overhead toss her to the outside of the ring onto all of them. Lita scurries back into the ring. Kairi follows, and Swole enters from the adjacent side and hits a pounce on both of them. Swole lifts Kairi in electric chair drop position, and then Lita jumps from the top rope and Hurricane Rana's Kairi off Big Swole's shoulders. Swole lifts them both and hits a double attitude adjustment, and it's a pin attempt on Lita, who kicks out at 2. Kairi hits a middle rope tornado DDT on Swole, kicking Lita as she spins around. She stacks them up and hits a moonsault. She attempts a pin on Swole, and she attempts to pin Swole, and Swole kicks out. Swole has Kairi in the corner, and then Kairi responds with a kick to the head, knocking Swole to all fours. And then Lita hits a poetry in motion off of Swole's back onto Kairi. Swole power slams Lita into the Tree of Woe. Kairi hits a double foot stamp on her from the top rope as she sits up from it. And then Swole hits Lita with Dirty Dancing, which is the triple spin lariat. But Lita falls out of the ring before Swole can attempt a pin. And then Sane hits a tilt-a-whirl reverse DDT on Swole to get her down for an insane elbow. So Kairi hits the insane elbow and goes for a pin. But Lita grabs her foot and pulls her out of the ring mid-pin, climbs up to the top, and hits her signature moonsault on Swole to get the pin. And Lita retains. So, what you got for me, boys?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like the build. I didn't care for I feel like the whole Swole thing was unnecessary. And you kind of pigeonholed the Ronnie Radke stuff in there, which I didn't care about or care for. The match was okay. I'm gonna give you a 2.5 for this one. It's mid, like super mid.
I agree with that. I'm gonna go with 2.5 as well.
I agree. It's mid 2.5.
Bad guy's not here at the moment.
He's beating his meat.
So
He heard about women
Ew.
on this. He
That's so-
imagined women and he had to go beat his meat.
I will
I'm
say
back.
that the femme fatales is every goth kid's dream
yeah.
action.
Was that match 6?
Yes, I have 2 more.
Okay. Bad guy, do you want to give a rating or no?
Yeah, I gave it a solid 3. I just gave it a solid 3.
Oh damn, Kenny with the highest. I'll take that.
What did y'all give one more time?
Two-
Just make
two and a
sure.
half.
Straight 2.5.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super mid.
It was very mid. That's why I gave you a 3. I just gave it straight.
Yeah, to make sense of the Radke thing, it was mostly about inserting like Cedric.
You just wanted to put him in there.
No,
Like,
it was actually more about Cedric. that was the thing, is that Cedric this is supposed to be the moment where Cedric gets really over from fucking him up and getting him off TV for a while because he's so annoying. So the point of that was
it's
to get
definitely annoying.
Yeah, the point was to get Cedric over. That was the whole point. So if you're the fans who hate him on a regular basis, you see Cedric lumbar check his ass 3 times. He's off TV. Yay, Cedric. That's the point. Anyways, going on to the next match. After finding a friend in the Boogeyman to help even the odds against the claim to fame, Danhausen is still down 3-2. They show up to the arena in tuxedos with their paint still on, with Danhausen saying, "Today, we will conduct interviews for our third friend house. Those 3 swearing scoundrels will be defeated 3 to 2.5. Now let's go to the office and review some applicants."
Some what?
To review some applicants.
I think it's just some African.
No, that's Tessa Blanchard on the Moan Show. The office is a janitor's closet with a sticky note that says Danhausen's office housing on it. Later that night, the Acclaimed make their entrance rapping and gloating about their win last week. Danhausen comes out and says, "We too have found the Rapperhausen to complete our trio." And out comes R-Truth. R-Truth starts rapping R-Truth starts rapping his song until the Boogeyman pulls some worms out to eat. Then R-Truth starts running around the entire arena screaming as Danhausen and Boogeyman lose 2-on-3. So basically, R-Truth was supposed to be their partner, but he's literally running around the whole building throughout the whole match screaming because he's scared about the worms. Next week, they continue the search. As they've seen with Boogeyman reading they are seen with Boogeyman reading applications and Danhausen making calls on his 50s wire phone. Danhausen says, "Maybe a rapper is not possible. John Cena is retired. R-Truth is afraid of worms. And Macho Man's album was terrible and made 0 money." And then they get a knock on the door. And they open it to reveal Santino Marella. And he says, "I'm coming to check on my application. Did you see my resume? I've been in teams. I have some rap experience. And I am not afraid of slithery creatures." And then he shows the cobra. Danhausen and Boogeyman shrug. They run the match back, and Santino tries the cobra right away to start the match, and then he immediately gets put in a chicken wing by Anthony Bowens and taps out. And Danhausen appears increasingly frustrated. They're in the office for the 3rd week saying, "Well, this is our last applicant, Hausen. If we don't win this week, we'll have no other option left in BBW." And that week, he raps. Caster is on the way rapping to the ring and says that he's tired of beating these clowns. It's almost as bad as DPW Throwdown. And then Danhausen and Boogeyman reveal their partner to be Hillbilly Jim. Danhausen is trying to find Jim when they get outnumbered in the match, but Hillbilly Jim is walking by the front row taking free food and beer from fans, and then they lose again. On the final week before St. Valentine's Day Massacre, they are in the office once again. Danhausen is talking to himself saying, "We have exhausted all of our options in Big Baller Wrestling. What can we do? We must think outside the bun. That's it. The perfect idea, Hausen. We will search the indies, and we will find the biggest star, and we will give him all of our monies, and we will make everyone love that Danhausen at St. Valentine's Day Massacre." And the attires are pretty typical. Danhausen's wearing his typical stuff. Boogeyman is too. The Acclaimed are in their pink outfits that they always wear. And here's the Acclaimed's rap. I gotta survive it. So, "Yo, Yo, listen. Danhausen's so desperate, he left the arena. He about to get destroyed like New Orleans in Katrina. They know they're gonna lose. It's a matter of fact. They're like the Pelicans when Zion got fat. And then they say, the acclaim has arrived.
I'll give you this. This rap was way better than your first one.
Way better.
I was so scared about delivering that part. I was like, okay, I at least got to get some edgy shit in there. And that's what the acclaim does too. They're not even good at rapping. They just say edgy shit. Anyways, Danhausen and Boogeyman come out to a roaring cheer, and Danhausen says, "Hello, my loving fanhausens. I hope you're doing." And then he gets cut off by the wail of the Big Show's music. And Shannon Sharp says, How did he pull this off? How much money he got? This is the biggest star in the Indies." And Skip agrees. No doubt about that. He trimmed down to about 380 pounds, and he has been able to have a faster paced offense. Pair that with the size, and it's a devastating combination. So, here's the spots. Danhausen starts the match with Caster. Caster overpowers him, quickly alternating tags with Bowens and Rush. They hit a clothesline and a German suplex combo for a 2 count. Bowens hits a spine buster onto the knees of Lio Rush. Bowens goes to lock in a single leg crab, but Danhausen reverses it into an enziguri, and then he gets that hot tag to the Big Show. Big Show runs into the ring and starts with a super kick party, hitting Bowens, then Caster and Rush as they run in. He then goes, he runs off the ropes and hits a sling blade on Caster. And then he hits a corner drop kick on Bowens and a Falcon Arrow on Rush. They all scurry to the outside of the ring. Big Show joins Danhausen and Boogeyman on the apron. And then the tequila song starts playing on the speakers. The da-da-da-da-da-da. And they start doing their dance on the apron. This is like a Danhausen signature if you've never watched. They start doing the tequila dance, and all three of Acclaim to Fame run over and try to grab at their feet, but they kick away or dodge them. And the song stops, and they all simultaneously do front flips off the apron onto Acclaim to Fame.
Even Big Show?
Yes. They throw all of them back into the ring, and then Big Show tags in Boogeyman, and Boogeyman hits a running power slam on Bowens, and then he does one to Caster on top of Bowens, and then he does one to Leo on top of Caster. And then Boogeyman tags Danhausen, who hits a frog splash onto the pile, and he starts to move toward a pin, and then he slowly looks over at the Big Show, and the crowd cheers. And then Danhausen tags in the Big Show, climbs up to the top rope, and hits a BME, the biggest moonsault ever, onto the pile. He throws Caster and Leo off of Bowens and pins him 1, 2, 3.
Question.
Okay.
Yes, Mike?
R-Truth.
Yes.
Did I have him? Did I?
I know I drafted him, but you can have him after this point.
No, I just looked at the draft. You did not have him.
I swear I had him.
I'm looking at it right here.
If you want to take a tax, you can.
You don't have R-Truth.
I may have used him as a free agent before you drafted.
You just said you wrote it.
I didn't write this today.
All right, well, it's not that...
He did have him. He drafted him 81st overall.
Wait, I literally just did
I did
fine.
draft him. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I just did the
okay.
fine.
I thought I looked like a real asshole.
What number did he draft him?
Oh, he did. I see. There's a dash in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I looked it up without the dash. That was my bad.
He's all yours after this show, though.
Well, that's fine. I
was just
put him
used
on
in a
mine
build.
anyways, and no one said anything. So
yeah, I wasn't. He's just using a build. He's not like even in the match.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to.
Oh yeah.
Fuck with you.
He was ready to tax the shit out of you.
No, I really wasn't. I was fucking with him because honestly, I've made so many trades and like bargains at this point that I've already lost count of what they were. So I'm swinging at the fences. Anyone else could go give their number now.
Kenny.
All right. I don't even know what number one give it yet. The recruiting part, it was funny. Even though I'm not a fan of Danhausen, but
It
that
sounds
was
like you're
funny.
becoming a fan housing.
No, I'm not. But
The bad guy is now a Fanhausen.
nah, I don't like any of that shit. But like I thought the R2 thing was funny, and Santino Morella, that was funny too. So I'll give you points for that. I do like the shot. I'll give you points for the shot as well. Match was a little all over the place. So I'm between two numbers. I'm just gonna go 3.25. That's where I'm at. 3.25. It was
It's a fan
it kept
now.
jumping up and down with me. Like it was like at one point it was like one point was kind of like a 2, some points like 4. So it was like kind of jumped up and down a lot. So I'm going 3.25.
So I like the build a lot. I actually like the match a lot too. I fuck with Indy's Big Show. So I don't really have any problems with it. So I'm gonna give you a 5.
Let's fucking go. 5,000 does it again.
This is not 5. This is not 5 territory for me.
All my human monies.
Yeah, Mike, you can give it that 4.75.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'll take a 4. Good bargain.
This was okay. I don't have a lot to say. I'll give you a 3.25.
All right. And then we are to the main event. Y'all ready?
Y'all
That
ready
wasn't
for
the main
this?
event. It felt like a main event match.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
Indy's Big Show should be the main event.
He did a fucking front flip.
Hey, I didn't go too far though. He did a front flip. He did a moonsault. He did like a sling blade, falcon arrow. Like he did like indie shit, but he didn't like do any like 450s or shooting stars or anything.
Yeah, and he used to be able to do like drop kicks and shit like that.
So Indy's Big Show is materialized in the canon. So now
Indy's Big Show.
Yeah.
the week after the New Year's Eve special, MJF opens up Malice 1 week after shockingly sending John Cena into retirement. He comes out doing the "You Can't See Me" in the word life with his hands. He gets in the ring and gets on the mic, and he just says to the crowd, "I told you so." And he gets a roaring boo. And he says, "I told you that I was going to end John Cena's career. I told you that I am the greatest wrestler of all time. And guess what? I got more to tell you, so I hope you got enough pizza to gorge your stupid faces with while I deliver another prophecy. Last week, while I was getting ready to make history, Eddie Guerrero was crowned #1 contender." The crowd starts chanting, "Eddie, Eddie." MJF cuts them off. "You know what? Why don't we bring him out here so I can tell him what I think of him face to face?" The crowd cheers and Eddie's music hits. The crowd waits, but Eddie doesn't come out. The music stops and MJF acts surprised. He's like, "I wonder what happened. My guess is another overdose. Let's check on our reporters in the field." And then the Ballertron shows Pete Gas recording on his phone as Rodney and Joey Abs beat Eddie down in a gas station parking lot. And they choke him with a gas hose, and Gas grabs the keys and starts Eddie's lowrider. Rodney and Joey Abs hop in the back, and Gas speeds away. MJF makes like a fake, like sad face to the crowd, and says, "Glad he's choking on something other than his own vomit for once. Guess he can't make it tonight. Well, I guess you'll just have to hear my thoughts on this situation next week." Later that night, MJF is shown in his suite, and he gets a knock at the door. He rudely asks, "Who is it?" And he hears an obviously fake voice say, "Room service." And he gets angry. He angrily gets up to answer the door, and it's Eddie, who immediately starts throwing hands and taking MJF to the floor, punching him in the face. He throws MJF back first into the dresser, and then slams a big TV down onto him. Eddie kneels and says, "Next time, make sure those idiots take my phone, because I'll take an Uber, I'll take a Lyft, I'll even take a taxi to come whoop your ass, SA." And then he leaves the room, and in the hall you see the Mean Street Posse laid out next to a bat on the ground. Next week, Eddie comes out to address MJF. He gets a mic and says, "Max," and I'm not doing an impression for Eddie, because I came off super racist last time. You know as well as I that there is no point in me getting on this mic and talking about how bad of a person you are. Every person in this building knows that water is wet and that MJF is a hijo de punta, tanto del culo, and everything else I could get away with saying on TV. What some don't know you are, Max, is unoriginal. You've been compared to many men in your career, whether it's the Miz's stupid haircut, Ric Flair's robes, or CM Punk's catchphrase, but there's one that they may not think of. A man known for lying, cheating, and stealing. A man who stops at nothing to get what he wants. That's right, Mio. I was you. I was a sicker, meaner version of you. The you that you look into the mirror and aspire to be. I may have cleaned up my act and changed my ways, but if you keep pushing the wrong buttons, Vato, you're going to get the old Eddie. And the old Eddie, and he's cut off by MJF's music, and MJF comes out yelling, "Shut the hell up, Eddie! I see you've still got the lying part down because you haven't changed a bit. You may come out here, dance for these idiots in the crowd, say what makes them cheer for you, but you're no different. You're still evil on the inside. You pretend you've changed because you love the validation of the fans in these arenas, whether that's here in Atlanta or online on Twitter. You live for that validation. But let's talk about who you really are. You lie to these fans. Who else might you be lying to, Eddie, huh? Maybe your family? When was the last time you really spent time with Vicky? How are your kids doing? Have you met Shaw's new husband yet? Now, I don't even want to bring up cheating in relation to Vicky. That's too easy. Now let's discuss Owen Hart instead. You cheated in your match with him and stole his opportunity to break out. And he's never going to forgive you because you'll never beat me. I could go on all night, but I know that you have some painkillers to get to, so I'll leave you with this thought. There is no old Eddie. There's just the same piece of shit addict there's always been. And he walks backstage, and the crowd and Eddie are in disbelief at what he just said. Later that night, Eddie approaches Owen in the locker room saying, "Listen, man, I know you're mad about what I did. I just need to know that you've got my back in all this. I swear I'll give you the first title shot, and we'll tear the house down." Owen says, "This could have been my battle to fight, but you stole that. You're on your own for this one," and walks away.
Damn.
He never forgave him.
Oh, he never did forgive him. I was about to say that.
Long-term storytelling, fellas. You said to embrace it. I embraced it. Next week, Eddie comes out to the ring, and he says, "I've had a week to think about everything that MJF said. I don't want to lie tonight. Some of it was true. I could change my behavior, but deep down, I am still the same Eddie. And Max, this might sound like bad news for me, but it's way worse news for you. When you share the ring with me, you'll feel what it's like to share the same body and mind as the old Eddie. You'll feel 40 years of guilt, shame, and anger. You will regret digging into these wounds as they are inflicted upon you. You will suffer as I have. I heard you're not in the building tonight, and frankly, Max, that's the smartest move you've ever made. At St. Valentine's Day Massacre, these two hands are going to be your worst nightmare. Because," and then MJF pops up on the Ballertron, appearing to be in the back of a limo, saying, "Wow, Eddie, that's really deep. I too have heard college slam poetry. Anyways, I have a special surprise for you in the Ballerverse tonight." He tells the driver to stop, and he continues, "I know you've struggled a lot in life, and I just wanted to show the Guerrero family just how much I care. Follow me." He gets out of the limo, walks up to a house's front doorstep. Eddie screams on the mic, "Max, leave my family out of this. Come here and fight me like a man tonight." MJF laughs. "Welcome to MJF Cribs. Today we'll be touring the home of Eddie Guerrero." And he opens the front door. In the living room, the Mean Street Posse are watching Malice with their feet kicked up. Eddie drops the mic and runs out of the ring. MJF keeps going. Now let's look at the kitchen, shall we? He opens the fridge and says, no beers? Ah, Eddie must have drank them all in the 20 minutes he was home. Nothing good in here. Let's check the cabinet. He opens it to reveal Vicky Guerrero tied up, and he says, nothing good in here either. Let's go check the master bedroom. As he walks in, he says, now I know there's not much going on in here, but maybe we can find some skeletons in his closet. He opens the door to a walk-in closet to show his 2 youngest daughters tied up. And he says, no skeletons, but if Eddie takes another 2 years to come home, maybe they will be. And he shrugs. Let's check out the backyard. He opens the door and steps out to the back, and you see Shaun Guerrero and Aiden English. They're married. Tied up. I make sure, like, if I said Aiden English is there with no fucking context, you're like, why the fuck is Aiden English there?
True, I would have said that.
So yeah, he's married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter. Tied up in lawn chairs, trying to struggle their way out. MJF keeps talking. A whole family reunion? This just keeps getting better. If only Eddie weren't so negligent of his family. Maybe he could have gotten Aiden a wrestling job. And he kicks Aiden's chair down. Now, what kind of tour would it be without checking out the garage? And he opens the garage and says, wow, what a nice car you have. That trunk must be so spacious. You could fit a grown man in there. He opens up the SUV hatchback to show Chavo tied up in the back. And he punches him a few times. He says, and now for the grand finale. He opens the garage door and steps out front. The Mean Street Posse step out the front door. MJF looks into camera and says, they're all waiting on Uncle Eddie to come save them. And like usual, he will fail. And then, sorry, I lost my place. There we go.
I was hoping to be Chris Benoit in there. That's what I thought the big reveal was.
In the home gym.
Mike didn't like that joke.
Sorry. MJF.
This whole thing was dark. That's where we crossed the line.
MJF lights a match, throws it behind him, and the screen goes black. On the week before St. Valentine's Day Massacre, it is advertised that Eddie and MJF will be meeting face to face. MJF arriving as shown, and everyone in the back is giving him weird looks as they're disgusted at how far he went. Eddie arrives with his family beside him to huge cheers from the crowd. After a match that night, cameras cut to MJF and the Mean Street Posse jumping Owen Hart in the back. Eddie arrives, but he's too late as they've already gotten away. When the meeting finally happens, security is surrounding the ring, and MJF comes out alone first. The boos are some of the loudest they've heard in history, like Roman after beating Undertaker level shit. Eddie's music hits to a big pop, and he's got the whole family in the lowrider, but after he hops out, Chavo drives them back. Eddie gets in the ring, and they immediately have a stare down as the music stops. MJF steps aside to reach for a mic, and Eddie smacks the mic out of his hand. The stare down continues for a few seconds, and then Eddie headbutts him and the crowd goes nuts. He double legs him and starts swinging until security swarms to him. Eddie is knocking down guards left and right as MJF rolls out of the ring with a bleeding face. Eddie breaks away long enough to front flip over the top rope onto MJF and a bunch of guards. He then slams MJF's face into the announce table as Shannon Sharp cheers him on. He throws him into the barricade, and as security swarms him, the numbers overwhelm Eddie as he gets put into cuffs while MJF runs away. The logo shows and the screen cuts to black with Eddie screaming and getting taken away by the security in cuffs. All right, let's go to our attires. So Eddie is in white tights with gold and black designs and gold boots. MJF is wearing a black and red rope with a Burberry trim. His tights are black with red designs. All right, the bell rings, and Eddie pushes MJF to a corner and starts hitting him until the ref breaks it up. This happens a few times until MJF leaves the ring. Eddie follows the suicide dive and throws him in the ring. Eddie does the 10 punches in the corner, followed by a monkey flip. Eddie hits a tornado DDT out of the corner. MJF pokes Eddie in the eye as the ref is pulling Eddie off him, and then he hits a European uppercut. MJF hits Eddie with a brainbuster, but Eddie kicks out at 1. Eddie lifts MJF up for a super suplex, but MJF directs his body towards the ropes and they both spill to the outside. MJF gets on the apron to get in position for an Asai moonsault, but Eddie grabs him in powerbomb position off there and runs with him into the barricade. So he basically picks him up like this and then runs over to the barricade and throws him into it.
Like a crucifix toss?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Eddie, sorry. And then after he does that, he clotheslines him into the crowd. Eddie breaks the count by going into the ring. He climbs up to the top rope and then front flips into the crowd, hitting MJF. Later in the match, MJF hits a Tiger Bomb backbreaker. MJF hits a super backdrop off the top rope, pin attempt and a close two. MJF slingshots Eddie upward into the ropes. Eddie hits a gory bomb, pin attempt, and kick out at 2. Eddie hits the 3 amigos. Eddie goes up top, assumingly for a frog splash, but MJF pushes him off, crashing him into the outside. MJF distracts the refs as Mean Street Posse comes out and they start beating Eddie down on the outside. Eddie is getting the better of them after a little bit, and by the time the ref turns around and notices, Eddie's getting the better of them by the time the ref notices. Eddie gets into the ring in time to break the count, but MJF knees him square in the head as he's entering through the ropes. He then pulls him through the middle rope and hits the Heat Seeker. He hooks him for a pin, but lets go at 2, giving a 6 crowd. MJF then climbs up to the top rope, hits Eddie's signature shimmy, and then hits a frog splash on him and pins him 1, 2, 3. After the match, MJF and the Mean Street Posse quickly leave as the boos rain down and the crowd becomes more and more volatile. Eddie starts to get up and the crowd cheers him to his feet. Down the ramp to no music comes Owen Hart moving quickly. He gets in the ring and gives Eddie a hug to a big cheer. And then you can hear him unmiked saying, "Eddie, it's okay, brother." And he helps him up to the ramp, and he raises Eddie's hand on the ramp, and the crowd cheers. Right after this happens, Owen grabs Eddie by the head, and then he throws Eddie off the stage into the tables and electrical equipment for a small explosion, and the show ends with Owen Hart walking slowly backwards into the curtain with Shannon Sharp screaming, "Not like this! Damn him to hell! Damn him!" And is up for race.
I hate your Shannon Sharp impression.
This is good.
I hate your Shannon Sharp impression, but I loved every other fucking moment of this. Kiss me, you beautiful bastard. This is a fucking 5.
This is a 5 as well. I'm not gonna hide
5.
it.
It's a 5.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give you a 5 as well.
Let's go!
Now,
Kenny, don't be the hater here.
MJF was on some villain shit. He committed multiple felonies. I'm here for it.
I agree. I gave you a 5, but just
Let's
remember,
go.
when I had somebody torture somebody's family, you said, "Oh, this isn't
Well,
right."
here's
Remember
the
that shit
difference.
last
I
week?
think
You made Jeff Hardy beat his own family. MJF. If JTG had beat up Jeff Hardy's family, that would have been one thing. But you made Jeff Hardy beat his own kids on TV.
No, because that's worse though.
It is, but it was uncomfortable. But everybody else liked it.
Kenny didn't go far enough. Cane them kids. Cane them kids.
I'll just say, I just want you to remember that when I had somebody get their family tortured, you were like, "This isn't right." Now you're
no,
like,
it wasn't because it wasn't right. It was just the way you did it made me uncomfortable because Jeff was beating his own family. But yeah, that's my show. I'm glad I ended it on that note.
So
I also like him using the frog splash to win.
Yeah, especially when he lets go after the Heat Seeker. That was some SVR06 type shit.
Yeah.
This is the part of the show where we do plugs. So let's start with LilXFudge. Do you have anything? Bad guy.
check me on the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube. I'm Bad Guy Spoken on every social media as well. Yeah, that's it.
Travis.
Follow me on all social media at IamTravvyT. That's at IamTravvyT on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
Damone.
I be tweeting and TikToking, so follow me on both at DumbMoneyT13, DAM, ONEYT, the number 1, the number 3. Follow me. You can find me on Twitter, hi-fi_Mike. Find me on TikTok, hi-fi Mike. You can find all the shows on the T13 Media Network on our website at T13media.com. That's the letter T, the number 1, 3 spelled out, media.com.
And give us 5s on Spotify and Apple. If it's not 5s, I don't want it.
Fuck off if it's not a 5.
And
Dub.
Don't be a Travis.
that is book it. That's book it. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, there's a button.
Yeah,